Hello, and welcome to the Sonic Board podcast. This is May 30th, 2018. I'm your host, DeoxysPrime, and joining me on this podcast, we have Matt.
Hello.
We have Collin.
Video game.
We have OmegatheRobot.
Hey guys, what's up?
Oh my god.
And we have Funk. And we have Funk.
I just wanted to see how long the silence would go on before anybody said anything. So not very long, unfortunately. But hello.
Hello.
Wait, hold on. Let me try that again. Hey, guys, what's up? Got another podcast here, ready to go. Omega, did I do it?
You just need some more practice, kid.
All right. Put me in next time. I'll try again.
Yeah.
You gotta work on your radio DJ voice.
Yeah, it's not quite up to snuff.
Well, so we're here to talk about why The Last Jedi is a bad movie. Again.
Oh my god.
Again.
Why? How did we get caught in this loop?
It's you can never escape from how bad that movie is.
Every couple of weeks.
Wait, but didn't DL like it?
Yeah, and he's a faggot. So.
Oof. Hard oof.
I mean, it did tank the Solo movie, among other things.
Oh my god.
No, having a white male lead tanked the Solo movie.
You're right. I'm wrong, Collin.
Yes.
Gotta get that out there.
Did you write up your think piece already on this?
Yes, I've got, and that's a good thing ready.
They have to all be in on it, right? Like,
were all those headlines legit though?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really,
and that's
like,
a good thing.
I understand that most of them were, but I have to feel like at least some of them had to have been edited. It's just too much.
It's either they're all in on it or they're all like blissfully unaware of everyone else.
I mean, it's a pretty common practice in clickbait to tell your audience what they're supposed to think before they have a chance to.
Well, I know
but
for a lot of
specifically the phrase, and that's a good thing.
I mean, a lot of writers don't write their own headlines. It's usually the editors or the editorial department. So it's probably just one shitty person who works for all like these same companies who just writes these terrible headlines. It has like a PhD in clickbait.
You sound like you have some experience in this.
I did go to school for this, so I kind of know. But yeah, like I said, don't always blame the writer for the terrible headlines.
No, you can just easily blame them for the terrible article.
Okay, cool.
Is there like a secret school that people go to like for journalism? Kind of like how people go to like how people learn art from Cal Arts.
The Jedi Academy.
Oh my god.
Is there much to learn in journalism, or do you just walk in? And
I mean, there's a lot to learn about being a good journalist, but I don't think anyone really learned it.
How many places hire good journalists?
Oh. Not many.
They basically just hire bloggers.
Yeah.
What, or vloggers?
Bloggers.
Or vloggers?
Bloggers.
Vloggers.
Bloggers.
What is this podcast about?
Well,
it's the Sonic Board podcast.
a board which no one posts on anymore.
I posted 2 threads today.
Yeah, thanks, Discord.
Once the Clyde died, the board was over. And the Clyde was murdered by the Clyde.
The new Clyde.
Right.
Same
Meet
as
the new
old
Clyde. Yep, same as the old Clyde.
I mean, we still have a few users who frequent the board, like Super Sonic Warrior and Super Sonic Fanfics, whoever that is.
who made a thread that was just posting a link to the Incel Wikipedia article.
Who could be behind this account?
I'm gonna dark horse pick Kenny.
By the way, Kenny, welcome to the podcast. We already started.
Oh my god.
Please tell me you're not live right now.
Oh yeah, we are.
Oh, I hope you're ready to talk about Pokemon.
You wouldn't believe it if you had been listening, but we are in fact live.
Great.
So say hello, Kenny.
Kenny?
Hello.
Welcome to the
Yay.
podcast.
Bye.
We just started,
Oh, no.
so you didn't miss much.
Why the fuck am I here? Why did you tell me to get on?
Because you're our friend.
It's
Kenny,
the podcast.
Don't
Hey,
give me
Kenny.
that goddamn excuse every motherfucking time.
Well,
Kenny. Hey, Kenny.
What?
Right now. Top 10 smells.
No.
We need top 10. Hey, Kenny, give us your top 10 smells right now.
Any order is okay.
You're on the air. You're on the air, man.
What about Chestnut, Kenny? Is Chestnut up there?
No.
what about sawdust?
What about hot glue?
I like the smell of soy, Kenny.
So the thing is, Kenny, whenever we don't invite you, you get mad that we didn't invite you.
And whenever we do invite you, you refuse to give us your top 10 smells.
I hope
This is the fourth time.
I hope this tornado that's coming kills me so I don't have to answer this question.
Oh my god, are we having a live tornado on the podcast?
Tornado watch.
What do tornadoes smell?
Maybe.
That'll be the
Whoa.
biggest thing that ever happened live on this podcast since the night that Kim Jong-il died. And we broke that news live. I don't know if you remember that.
Did that happen?
No.
That actually happened.
I was
I do.
either very drunk or I wasn't here.
Oh, or when we broke the Pac-Man news in Smash.
Yes. The live Pac-Man reactions.
I refuse to believe it. But
What a time to be alive.
it's true. It's true, all of it.
So you really have to keep an ear to the ground when recording these things. Who knows?
Well, speaking of E3,
Hmm.
did you know it's right around the corner?
Oh my god.
Wow.
That was, okay, I just want to throw this out there. That was probably the most unfocused intro we've ever had
I mean,
on this podcast.
do you actually listen to any podcasts, Colin?
Here and there.
I mean, that happens a lot. You know, people just talk about random shit.
It's a warm-up. It's an icebreaker.
Mhm.
Seriously, are we fucking live? Are you
Hey, Kenny,
kidding me?
We're live. Kenny, we're live.
Hey, Kenny, top 10 smells.
I'm broadcasting right now on twitch.tv under the talk shows category.
Oh, for God's
Oh my
sake.
god.
So, Kenny, tell us about this movie you're promoting.
What movie?
It's the Sonic the Hedgehog movie starring Cyclops.
Paul Rudd?
Not anymore. He's probably too expensive.
Use my Discord.
He's
name.
got that Ant-Man money. He doesn't need the Sonic money.
Wait, I thought he had the Deadpool money.
Paul
No.
Rudd's in Deadpool?
No. You're letting Omega cloud your judgment here.
I'm not judging. When did his
No,
fucking name
I'm not
change?
talking to you. I'm not talking to you. The only thing I want from you is smells, Kenny. I'm talking to Funk.
And then who's Deadpool?
That's Ryan Reynolds.
Wade
Oh
Wilson.
my god. Wait, then who was the one that was in where he like put on a garbage bag and played football?
What?
The playbook.
Adam Sandler?
The
No.
Waterboy?
No. It won an Oscar. It was a movie. He was like a football guy. In all the advertising, he wore like a garbage bag.
Oh, I know
Like
what you're talking about.
radio?
That's based on a real story.
Yeah, who was that?
I don't know.
Was that
Cuba Gooding
Deadpool?
Jr.
No, it was a white guy.
What was that?
Oh.
Sandra Bullock?
Yes. No, that was
She
the
wasn't the
large
football
black
player.
guy. No, that was the one with he looked like a fridge. There
You
was
know
another.
The fridge was an
movie.
actual football player.
Yeah, but he looked like a fridge, not the fridge. This
He
is
was an
beside the
actual-
point.
Wait,
This
he was
was a different movie.
You don't get the nickname the
Wait,
fridge
wait,
by
no,
looking
no,
like
no,
a
no.
washing
He was
machine, Funk.
He was an actual fucking refrigerator on the football field.
No, but he looked like one. Please
There's
understand.
no rule
How
that
can they-
says a refrigerator
Sandra
can't play
Bullock
football.
was in the film with like
Are
the
you-
mentally handicapped guy who looked like a
talking about-
fridge.
Are you talking about The Blind Side?
Yes, he is.
I'm talking that movie. I'm talking about another one. The one with the guy in the garbage bag. He was a white guy. It was
How the fuck is a refrigerator supposed to get a touchdown?
Have you ever tried to
running?
Have you ever tried to tackle a refrigerator?
Are you pretty sure you're not talking about the brave little toaster? Because I'm pretty sure there was a refrigerator in that movie.
There was an Oscar-winning football movie about like a good-looking white guy who wore garbage bags, and he was either Deadpool or Ant-Man.
Are you talking about Rudy?
Mark Wahlberg.
No, he was not Mark Wahlberg. He had like blonde hair. He was in The Hangover.
Oh, Steve Zahn. That's not about a football player.
That's not. Steve Zahn has not been relevant ever.
Oh, you mean American Sniper guy?
No, wait, maybe.
Bradley Cooper.
Chris Pratt.
Oh, Bradley Cooper. So
Chris Pratt was not an American Sniper.
Bradley Cooper was neither Deadpool nor Ant-Man.
Oh, I'm thinking of Zero Dark 30.
He was in that movie too.
Wait. Silver Linings Playbook?
Yes, that's the one. He wore
That's
garbage
Bradley
bag.
Cooper.
You have not seen that movie.
That's not Sandra Bullock. That's Jennifer Lawrence.
I didn't say it was Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock was in the one with the fridge.
You've been in Japan way too long. You need to come home.
I have not
Wait,
said
I
a
thought we-
single inaccurate thing today.
I thought we already established that man was not playing the fridge.
He looked like a fridge. A fridge.
Help.
I'm so glad I got woken up to be in this fucking podcast. Seriously.
Dang.
Do you
Hey,
think
thank you.
that they'll have a video game adaptation of Silver Linings Playbook announced at E3 this year?
Oh my god.
You brought it back around. Maybe.
If they were to announce a video game adaptation of the Oscar-winning film Silver Linings Playbook, during which conference would they announce it?
It would
Telltale Games.
It would probably be announced as a loot box during Madden at E3's conference.
No, it'll be announced at Konami's E3 conference.
Konami?
Konami.
Konami?
I rewatched the 2010 Konami the other day.
1 million troops, man.
Yeah, it was wild.
Does it just get better every time you see it?
It really does. I think it's not the most talked about spectacle from that conference, but I think that the Mexican wrestler bit might be the single worst bit done in E3 conference history. And that's a hot take, but I think it's true.
I saw another very cringy one that I think doesn't get a lot of mention, and that's if you go back, I think it was like 2005, the Nintendo Nintendogs reveal, where it's just Miyamoto and this woman just demoing Nintendogs, and Miyamoto makes some very kind of sexual remarks towards her. It's super awkward.
Are you sure the woman wasn't Bill Trinan?
It was not Bill Trinan. No one can come between Bill Trinan and Miyamoto.
It's magic.
They're unbreakable.
Somebody showed I think it was like a Smash Brothers Melee video, like a reveal for that at whatever conference that would have been in, like decades ago. And it was just like young Bill Trinan just standing there, still translating. Bill translating. And it's magical to see how not far he's come since then. And what's the most notable thing Bill Trinan's ever done? Like bag the dog from Animal Crossing?
Got fired for eating those donuts.
He got fired? What?
It was a bit.
Oh, did they ever rehire it?
I guess right after, yes.
Oh,
He's too valuable.
He cucked a whole bunch of people out of their waifu, that's for sure.
Right. Dog food.
Have any of you guys actually sat down and watched the entire Sony 2006 E3 press conference?
No, I don't.
I've only seen the bits and pieces of it.
I did that recently. I watched the whole thing, and it was so boring. Like, you'd think it would be like an entertaining train wreck from start to finish, but like the bits that are in that one video, like they're really funny and really bad. But that whole conference is like really boring.
Oh my god.
There's always 08 Nintendo.
That was a
Which
bad
one
year.
was that? Was that Wii Music?
Yeah.
That was Wii Music. That was the guy flailing the fucking Wiimotes.
The drums.
That was. I remember a lot of people thought that was going to be like a new Kid Icarus at the time.
Oh my god.
Wait, now do you mean like they thought Kid Icarus would be revealed, or people are saying that Wii Music is the new Kid Icarus?
I don't feel like validating that statement at all.
Yeah, there was a rumored Kid Icarus in development by Factor 5 for a long time.
Oh.
But then it got canceled.
Oh.
I did think that Kid Icarus always needed a marimba playing minigame.
Uh-huh.
So it's I can see where the wires got crossed. There.
Do you remember the Nintendo Land fireworks?
No.
Yes. That was so. 2012, I think, was like the first E3 I actually watched. Like I actually watched the full conferences for, instead of just reading up on them.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus Christ, that was bad. That was really bad.
Everyone's really expecting something big at the end there. And they're
It
like,
was just
here's one more
Nintendo
thing,
Land.
and it's just Nintendo Land fireworks show.
When was the last? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, that was like it took me a while to really want to get a Wii U after that. Well, actually, no. It just all it took was Wind Waker HD. But Jesus Christ, that was bad.
What were we gonna ask, Omega?
I was going to ask, when was the last time Nintendo did like an actual E3 conference before they switched to just doing like the directs?
2013?
Yeah.
I'll say.
I remember those last couple were just like so just like the age of just showing like sale data and graphs like on the screen at E3 is just seems so retro to me these days.
Yeah, that's kind of all gone by the wayside for the better.
Yeah.
But you still have shit like EA talking about a million sports games, which, you know, that's their business.
I mean,
but
Mexicans do exist.
But it's like they get up there and they demo the same features year after year and try to convince you that they're new and exciting. And it's just, you're not fooling anyone.
Do you think this is the year where they put the PlayStation 2 version of the game on center stage?
See if anyone can spot the difference.
Well, the thing is that they're still making like PlayStation 2 FIFAs, right? And whatever. They are. They actually are.
Oh, FIFA,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so they might as well just be like, own it. Just, be like, and this year, Paul, for FIFA 2017 on the PlayStation 2, we have now broadband net play.
I will not be satisfied until I see Just Dance 2019, the Wii version, on stage at Ubisoft.
Oh, God.
Coming soon to a 7-Eleven near you.
I think it would take all the developers and such to do E3 ironically for that to happen. Boy, would that be great.
Well, Devolver Digital is having another press conference, so...
Oh, yeah, they are doing that thing again.
Are those the people who did like the skits with like
earliest
access?
They did they did like the joke thing.
That so many people seem to just not understand, or just like I don't know how you can say that was a lot of people called it quote cringe.
Well, that's because they're trying to fit in a little too hard.
I don't know. Oh wait, the people or the people who did the conference?
Get out your Shrek cameras.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What's more cringe? People attempting to be funny, or people posting the haha emote at people attempting to be funny?
You just described our Discord.
Oh my god.
Our whole existence.
I actually liked that conference. I found it like not all the jokes landed, but it was I thought it was cute.
Kenny.
What?
You just thought Nina Struthers was cute.
Yeah, especially after she started bleeding from her nose and her head exploded.
Oh
yes.
My god.
But she started chanting the future over and over again.
What they need to do is get Steve Ballmer, I think his name is, the Microsoft guy.
Baldman Microsoft.
Get him involved with that like fake conference, but tell him it's real.
Oh no. Oh god.
So Kenny,
Yeah.
let's get a prediction. What are the odds we see Halo 6 at E3?
And he's
Halo
Googling the odds.
King Halo.
I didn't ask for that fucking name. I just posted that goddamn picture.
Kenny, before you got here, we introduced you saying that, and King Halo will be joining us later.
So I'm going to die.
What?
What?
I mean, by that tornado, maybe.
Yeah, because it's looking awfully fucking dark outside. It's getting really windy,
I
and
mean, it
it's
is
kind of
night,
scary.
Kenny.
Kenny, you're my knight in shining armor.
So Kenny, Halo 6. Do you want to see it? Are you still excited about Halo?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Great.
Do you know anyone else besides you who still owns an Xbox One?
Yes.
Who?
Dim.
No,
No.
Dim got rid of
No,
his.
Dim doesn't have an Xbox anymore. Sold it.
Oh no.
Do you think a certain person we used to know still has his?
I don't think DL ever bought an Xbox One.
Who the hell are you talking about?
What happened to DL? Is he gone?
He was here?
Somebody that I used
He
to
was
know.
here in spirit.
I don't know. They're due for something. 343 hasn't done shit.
I
They promised to. They promised. I heard this a lot this past Sunday. We're just like, I was like hanging with a bunch of friends. Like, Kenny, hey, are you excited for the Master Chief Collection update? I'm like, what? I literally just stopped. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I don't fucking care anymore. And then they were just hyping. I was just getting hyped up for it. And then I popped the game in just to see if I still had it like on my Xbox, which I surprisingly did, which I don't remember putting it back on there. And I played it. I went into a multiplayer match. I was just like, okay, this is great. I'm going to be able to play Halo 2 again, just like the original. Got into the lobby, got kicked out.
They were supposed to have finally
I-
fixed it after 4 years.
This is prior to said update, but
Okay.
I was just like, I just shut off my Xbox and just like went to bed. I was like, fuck this shit. So I don't know. I mean, they need to do something, or else like that. If they can't give like if they can't do something about like, you know, having their exclusive like Halo, like if they can't make another announcement or anything, that console's gonna fucking die, which it's like pretty much already dead, but whatever. Because
But what
like
about Crackdown 3?
no one fucking cares, you piece of shit. Anyway, the only reason people
Don't
bought
bully
that
Matt.
fucking game was because of the fucking like what was it, the
Oh, the Halo 3
the
demo?
Halo 3 pre-order code.
Yeah, that's that's literally
That's
the only reason why.
they promoted it with that, and like no one, like I asked so many people, like, yeah, I just bought it for the Halo 3 pre-order.
I don't know.
pre-order
Funk
code.
has pretty strong feelings on Crackdown.
Crackdown
Funk-
was
no,
a
Funk-
good
Funk-
game.
No. Funk,
It was a
Funk
good
doesn't-
game.
No, it wasn't.
I played
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 hours of it. It was alright. It was fun.
Kenny, you like Crackdown was so let me amend my statement slightly. Crackdown was a good game, but it was not a very deep game at all. At all. Crackdown, you could play it for 5 minutes, you can play it for 4 hours, and I think you'd have just about the same experience. But for the little game that it was, I think it was pretty good. And then its lack of depth revealed itself when the second game was literally the exact same thing. But you're being too harsh on Crackdown, and I demand an apology.
I'll give you an apology because I never played it, so I don't know.
That's right, Kenny. Kenny gets blown out again.
I just don't fucking care.
So, Kenny, do you think that Halo 6 will bring back the Forge?
God.
Did,
Is
wait,
that
did the,
all? Is that all you?
Fords leave?
Wait! Is that all you fucking care about?
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to care about?
Well, we have to know how the chief is going to finish the fight again.
Is the fight on a cliffhanger?
Didn't Halo 5 end on a cliffhanger, Kenny?
It did hang on. Every game is hung on a cliffhanger.
Can Master Chief never finish a fight in 8 to 10 hours? Like, what the hell?
I'm being bullied, and I guess I deserve it. But
Is the Arbiter going to come back?
he
already
is
did.
back.
And do
He
you
was in
think they'll?
5.
Do you think they'll still get Toby Keith to voice him?
I hope they
Keith
do
David.
because Keith David's amazing.
Toby Keith. All right, so Funk, what would you
Yes.
choose? Would you choose feed the hungry or fuck cancer?
Anything.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. But dude, fuck cancer.
You did
Yeah,
it.
I'd
You
probably
stood up
say
to
fuck
cancer.
I stood up to that dragon.
Oh my god.
Oof.
Kenny, what would you choose? To
Fuck cancer.
eradicate AIDS from the world, or to eradicate Halo ODST from the world?
Wait, what's wrong with ODST?
I just chose a random Halo game. I
What
guess I
the
fucked
fuck
up.
is wrong with you? First of all,
I haven't gotten an answer, Kenny.
I can't believe Kenny hated ODST that much that he'd rather keep AIDS in the world.
The thing was, ODST added they added like a horde mode, but it was very bad.
Everybody
if I
else-
it was
If I
good.
recall correctly, it was on a separate disc, which was just troublesome. Now,
That
it was.
bad.
Did Halo ODST come out before or after Halo 3?
Came out after
It was
Halo
literally
3.
called Halo 3 ODST.
It's really making me think right now.
But it takes place in between Halo 2 and Halo 3.
All right, guys,
So
I have
yes?
go ahead.
I was going to say, shouldn't it be called Halo ODST 3 then?
Well, it's not the third Halo ODST game.
Well, no, there'd be a colon.
Wait,
Like
what?
Halo ODST colon 3.
He wants
Or-
it to be. He wants it to be
Col-
pretentious.
Colon
That's-
space 3. No, that's semicolon.
Don't just Halo semicolon ODST.
That'd be nice. Or maybe like Halo OD semicolon ST.
God.
Well,
Or
I
what about just Halo DST?
Nice.
oh my god.
Now we're cooking
What
with
else
gas.
besides Halo can Microsoft even bring to the table this year?
Well, I wanted to bring
Blink
this up because
Gears of War?
I do have a radical idea for them to revitalize like the Halo game.
Hey, bro.
because it's shut up. So so picture this: you take 100 Master Chiefs and you drop them on a Halo, and then the last one standing wins.
Oh
my God.
Oh no.
There's your Halo saver.
No.
How did they arrive on the Halo, Steve?
What are the name of the ships? The Battle Ghosts or whatever.
the Battle Ghost, the Battle Wraith, maybe?
What are the flying ships?
The Pelicans?
Those are Banshees. Or
Blimps?
Pelicans, too.
A Banshee's a ghost.
No, a Ghost and a Banshee are two separate vehicles. And I guess technically both of them fly.
Wait,
I'm
are
about
there
to
ghosts?
leave this fucking podcast. I swear to God.
Well, so let's give a comprehensive rundown of all the Halo vehicles. So you have Warthogs, Scorpions, Ghosts, Banshees, Wraiths, Scarabs, Pelicans. Can you help me out here? Are there Rhinos?
What's
No,
what's
there's no
what's the
rhinos.
small ones called? Mongoose.
Mongoose. What are like the human small flying ships called? They're
Hornets.
Hornets.
Hornets. Yeah, you got Hornets. Maybe that's it. Is that it?
I feel
I
like
don't know. Is it?
Is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
All right,
Well, what is the one most analogous to a bus?
bus.
Uh,
Wait, what are the big like catacrawler things?
Scarabs.
What the
Like
hell
the
are you talking about?
The really
They were
big
in
one?
4 because I know this because 4 is the only one I played.
Catacrawler things? Is that what you said?
Fung knew what I was talking about
Yeah, like AT-ATs.
with wheels, not dog
Nah,
feet.
They didn't have wheels.
No,
the
the ones that had
AT
wheels.
Do they have like a big laser?
Okay, you know the spawn on Temple of Anubis, the attacker spawn.
Oh
Like one
my
of
god,
those
you're
vehicles.
comparing fucking Overwatch to Halo now.
Because
Really?
you've all played
That's a
Overwatch
great
except
idea,
for Omega.
Kenny. What if during the Microsoft conference they come out and announce Overwatch versus Halo?
God.
All right, what if you took 100 Forza vehicles and dropped them on the Nuremberg, and then the last driver standing wins?
How the
Here's
fuck do you know
here's a-
about Forza?
What
Like,
if you
you
took,
don't play
like,
racing games?
I watch
25
the
Master
Microsoft
Chiefs,
conference every year. They
25
fucking drop a car
Forzas.
from the ceiling all the time.
25 Marcus Phoenices and 25 Blinks the Time Cats? And you drop all of them onto a big Xbox, original Xbox. It would be Smash Brothers meets All Stars Battle Royale meets PUBG meets Fusion Frenzy. It'd be great.
Maybe PUBG Corp should sue Sony for using Battle Royale in their stupid fighting game.
Did PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale kick off the Battle Royale game trend?
It might have.
It invented Battle Royale.
You can see a clear through line in how it influenced like H1Z1 and PUBG, Fortnite. It's very obvious. Like, I think the emotes in Fortnite are lifted directly from PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Did fucking what's his face ever dab in that game? What's the skeleton man?
Sir Dan?
Yeah, did Sir Dan ever dab?
They don't
Okay,
call
did
him
that
Sir
game
Dab
come out
for
before
nothing.
dabbing was a thing? When was dabbing invented?
I think Master Chief did it first. In Halo 4. I was like, Jesus, this game's fucking good.
was that the QTE at the end where you press A to dab or something?
yeah. I think, invented QTEs, dabbing, a lot of cancerous things, I'm glad.
Yeah, mankind has dabbed since ancient times.
Like those hieroglyphics of like the pharaoh dabbing and stuff they found. That was pretty cool.
So
What is that thing that people often mistake for dabbing? Like it's like a Japanese pose.
Oh, bowing?
No. Oh, God.
Yeah, I went to Japan, they all just started dabbing.
I don't know how much you guys know about Japanese culture, but honor and dabbing are huge parts of it.
Mm.
It's the one. It's like something to do with those heroes. I forget what it's called. But there's like Power Ranger type people.
Oh, like
Sentai?
the Ginyu Force.
Sentai.
Oh
It's like
yeah,
the
I guess one of them does kind of do that pose.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, they were proto dabbers.
that was like the proto dab. But whenever an anime character does it, like people always call it dabbing.
All right. So here's the big question: which Nintendo game are they going to announce this year that's going to take a big dab on E3?
Oh my god.
Metroid 3v3 Soccer 2. whatever the name of that game was.
Federation Force
Yeah.
and the side game Blast Ball.
Nintendo always manages to dedicate just a little too much time to a game that nobody asked for.
Do you think they'll bring Weevil back for Smash Brothers?
Do you mean Weevil from Metroid Prime Hunters or Weavile from Pokemon?
I said Weevil. I didn't say Weavile. Now did
Collin, did you see all that stuff about YouTubers are apparently getting Smash info early?
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Well,
Some of them were hyping it up like a lot.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're just pulling an epic prank, bro, or anything like that. 'Cause
I know I
haven't seen
saw
enough of,
one
like,
that
what-
said like this game is going to have a lot of fan favorites in it.
Yeah, yeah. Which that's not exactly a bold prediction, you know.
Well, it would be if they like if they issue some of the previous characters for the lesser ones that have like smaller rabid fan bases.
Don't say rabid when we're talking about Smash Brothers. Don't say rabid.
You know they're gonna get in. Like it's a done deal.
It's not a done deal yet. Like I'm not saying I'd hate it. All right, because I wouldn't. They'd probably be fun to play, but at the same time, it's like, who really asked for this?
It's less absurd than it would be like a year ago.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it wouldn't be surprising to me if there are people getting Smash Brothers early right now, especially since they have an invitational that they're going to be putting on. Like people are going to have their hands on this game at E3, so getting some of the information out there as soon as possible, like getting people familiar with it, that wouldn't be surprising to me. Whether or not these people are telling the truth, I don't know. When it comes to quote fan favorites joining the roster, that's not surprising either, because we've covered most of our bases here by Smash 4. Hell, we covered most of our bases by Brawl, in terms of like what really needs to be on the roster. So I'm kind of hoping they just go crazy for Smash 5 here. Don't say Smash 6. Don't correct me, Steve.
But it is. That's what Sakurai said.
You stop. So I'm hoping they just go wild. Like if there's a demand, why not meet it at this point? You know, it's just a matter of what demand you want to meet over other ones here. Like say, I think one of the more interesting debates for what should be in this next Smash Brothers is what they might pick from Pokemon this time around.
I mean, it's gonna be Eevee, right?
I mean, in terms of what they might pick, it could be Eevee,
Gorochu.
I wasn't gonna say Gorochu. I was gonna say Eevee, Decidueye, Incineroar, Tapu Koko. No,
where are you getting Incineroar from?
Tapu Koko or Mimikyu. Yeah, Incineroar's at the bottom of that list, I think. And then there's obviously like the fuck off whatever option, like Buzzwole. Buzzwole would be great, but he's not happening.
The thing is, like, Incineroar, maybe the most likely of the starters, if only because Ash is going to get one at some point.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. There's certainly that.
You mean Satoshi?
It's just that I can't imagine him wanting to put in Incineroar if he's keeping Charizard.
They should just bring back Pokemon Trainer, honestly. Like, I know people hated that gimmick, but I really liked it.
Was that in Brawl or
that was
Smash
Brawl?
4?
That was Brawl. Yeah, you see how they blend together.
They should bring back, and they definitely do, but they should bring back the Ice Climbers. It was their turn.
You're one of those people.
I love the Ice Climbers.
I have
No,
very
you
little love
didn't.
for Ice
You liked them
Climbers.
because they were weird and different. You didn't actually like the Ice Climbers.
What,
No,
what do you mean?
cool.
Are you saying you like them? You like them because they had unique and interesting gameplay? Like that's so wrong. Like they were different.
Look at this function fag over here.
Look, they could all be the fighting Polygon team with just different moves, and I wouldn't care.
No, so here, you know what would be like a totally cool idea for a reveal trailer? So,
Inklings? Inklings?
no. So like, let's do this. So like trailer starts in a snowy mountain. Ice climbers appear. Yay, ice climbers are back. Kind of like show clips of them fighting, showing off their stuff. They're back, not hindered by 3DS. Then all of a sudden, music stops.
Record scratch.
Record scratch. Dragon appears. Fusroda, Dragonborn.
Oh my god. Now, what even better? So
Dragonborn climbs the mountain into Smash.
Is that,
Well,
is that
that's-
the splash?
That's a Smash.
Matt,
screen.
we're not hiring you to do the splash pages.
The thing is, the dragon that gets Fusro Dodd out of the sky, that's Ridley, who then does not show up in the game.
Hey, it could be his turn.
No,
It could
it's
be his
never
turn.
going to be his turn.
He's too big.
What if they found the right formula though?
It's impossible. They would never. They would never
he's
put work in for Ridley.
He's really, really, really tough to implement, and I don't care how many times people show like how he works in Legacy XP or whatever the fuck mod, because I've seen him in that mod, and yeah, obviously you can make a functioning character out of Ridley. You can do that very easily. He's actually got quite a bit to work with, but his proportions are all over the fucking place. Like his head is huge. His neck is long and thin. His wings are enormous. He's got a huge tail. This is not like Charizard whatsoever. Like, Samus is one of the tallest people in the game, right? So it's definitely not like Kirby to DDD or Mario to Bowser. If you're scaling down Ridley, then he's going to look really, really pathetic next to Samus, who he's going to be barely taller than.
So, on an unrelated note, I'm really pulling for them to add Kraid to this one. I think it could work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all I got for that. But maybe the solution is to just make Samus a woman lit.
Maybe.
I don't think people will stand for that.
I mean, shrinking Samus would probably, if you were to ever put in Ridley, I do think they'd probably shorten Samus a little bit.
That's someone's fetish, you know.
Do you think that like the villager would appreciate that?
Is
the villager coming back? That's the real question.
Yeah, let's speculate on who's not coming back.
Will they do anything to improve his already perfect moveset?
Well,
What, for just spamming the fucking fire hydrant at us?
the people saying that everyone will come back because this game will obviously be reusing some assets, or a lot of assets. I think they're getting a little ahead of themselves. I'm not saying that's not impossible, but 4 used a lot of Brawl's assets. We can see this in early trailers and screenshots that literally are showing Brawl animations that don't end up in the final game. And Lucas didn't show up in 4 initially, right? And there was basically no reason to cut Lucas. There was really not much of a reason to cut Wolf either.
Wait, George Lucas was attached to Star Wars.
That's not funny.
Smash Brothers?
That's not funny.
You know, I'm pretty
That's
hyped.
that's not even a joke.
I'm pretty hyped for the newcomer Darth Maul of chicken robot legs to be in this new fucking Smash game.
That was a joke.
Yeah?
Yeah. It wasn't a great joke, but it was a joke.
That's like the most bottom of the barrel joke. That's literally that's just word association.
If it wasn't a joke, it wouldn't have provoked such a visceral reaction from you.
Where was I? Right.
Characters
Can be cut even if we're reusing a bunch of assets.
I highly doubt Dark Pit will be back.
I think all 3 of the clones could be back just now as selectable alternate costumes.
I guess. Well, yeah. I guess
Wii
the real
Fit
question
Trainer is gone.
No way.
Yes way.
I think
No
that's
way.
possible.
I
No.
think that's possible. I actually hope for that.
No
And
way.
and I don't mean to bully Wii Fit Trainer. Or anything. But for me, that character had served its purpose by the end of her trailer playing.
Dude,
Like-
I also think that like that character represents an era of Nintendo that's like they're totally done with,
yeah. Like, they don't even sell Wii Fits
and
anymore.
it's, and
do
it's
they?
not like a nostalgic character that you can pull in and people are gonna be happy about.
Speak for yourself, Steve.
Yeah, did you actually buy Wii Fit?
I did.
Okay, well that shut me up.
The thing is about Wii Fit Trainer is that it's too economical to cut Wii Fit Trainer, because by putting in Wii Fit Trainer, you get 2 characters for the price of 1. You get male Wii Fit Trainer and female Wii Fit Trainer.
That
That's not
doesn't
how it
count.
works. What is this?
Listen,
Then
I
ex-
know. I
Then
know
explain Pikachu's continued presence in the game, where by adding Pikachu, you get like clown hat Pikachu, top hat Pikachu, baseball cap Pikachu.
Ash Ketchum Pikachu.
Yeah.
I don't think that
Yeah.
one's available in Smash. I think
Do they
it's
have
fine.
female Pikachu with the heart tail?
No,
No, I don't think they do.
because you're not playing as any Pikachu. You're playing as the Pikachu.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Game Freak provides pretty strict guidelines on how to handle Pikachu. On what
Do they
on
just
the
let
do's and
loose
don'ts.
on how to handle Jigglypuff?
I don't think they give a shit about Jigglypuff.
Well, you
But-
got like Bow Jigglypuff and Ribbon
Jiggly-
Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff has almost been cut multiple times. And that's another thing. There's nothing sacred about the original 12.
Yes, there is.
I think there is until it isn't.
Yes.
They could cut Captain Falcon, and I wouldn't care.
They
I
would
would
not cut
care.
Captain.
I would care if
That would piss people off so much.
Are you
Captain
kidding?
Falcon is the closest thing to like a Smash Brothers original character.
I was gonna say, because Captain Falcon doesn't exist outside of Smash Brothers to the vast majority of the players.
Like his entire character on the original game is based off a comic book that came in the instruction manual for the original F-Zero. Like that's it. He was just a car in that game.
So, I feel like such a hypocrite because I often feel like people get too attached to characters in Smash Brothers for what they mean to Smash Brothers, rather than what they mean to like Nintendo fans, right? And yet, I'd probably be a little upset if Captain Falcon were to ever leave the roster. So I'm a massive hypocrite in that regard, but just for Captain Falcon.
But I
I
think
mean,
everyone
You're
has a
only gay
character
for
like
Captain
that.
Falcon.
That would.
Now, how would you
that-
feel about Captain Falcon getting cut, but Ganondorf continuing to use his moveset? Because at that point, he's basically still in the game.
There's really no excuse for Ganondorf not being revamped because, look, he's been shitty in the past 2 games. He's just not fun.
They're not going to take into account like competitive viability.
No, but he's just not fun.
If I don't get how Captain Falcon can be fun, but Ganondorf is not.
Because he's slow.
They're the same.
He's slow and he can't combo.
Nobody can combo. It's Smash Brothers.
Combo with Smash Brothers.
Yeah, the wave dash into footsies.
I have never done a wave dash in my life.
Can we talk about the prevalence of smelly Smash Brothers players?
Oh God.
Do you think they'll address that at the conference?
Kenny, what is your top 10 smelliest Smash players?
Where does Mule fall on the list?
So 4's newcomers really went the extra mile to make them feel like the characters. So I just feel like there's no excuse for Ganondorf to be a Captain Falcon clone at this point. And moreover,
Precedent. I mean, think about it from their perspective. There's going to be people who are like, I've been playing Ganondorf since Melee. He's like my favorite character, and now you just completely change his moveset.
no, fuck you if you're all about functions.
There's momentum.
feeling like the character should take priority over what their function is.
I agree for new characters. However, I think by not changing him in Brawl, they kind of made their own bed. Because if there was just every iteration of the game, because tons of characters get updated moves, right? Like they added the Mario Flood water gun thing. That wasn't a move you had before. But by saying that this is how Ganondorf plays and he's not going to wildly differ from this because we've released him as this 3 times, I think that it's not fair to disrupt people's expectations in that way. But I understand that Ganondorf sucks and nobody likes playing as him, but from their perspective, there are people who like playing as Ganondorf. Imagine if they just changed how Link played for whatever reason.
They will, though. They probably will.
Well, I guess that's not a good example because of like the Breath of the Wild Link being like a whole new take on the whole series. How about if they just changed how Donkey Kong played? You know, Donkey Kong's got a very distinct moveset. It fits Donkey Kong. People know it. And if they just change that 100%, I think some people will be upset.
I do agree with where you're coming from, because I think that's an issue with fighting games in general, and you can't change the characters too much because of those expectations. The people who enjoyed playing as those characters, when they buy the next game, they want to continue to enjoy playing as that character. But when you have a character who, A, no one really likes playing, outside like probably a very small minority, and 2, a character who is just not...
A and 2?
Yes! Who is just not, authentic in what that character is. Like, I think you have an opportunity to change that. I think it's dumb they haven't done it so far, but, there's no reason not to do it now.
I think you could easily meet it halfway, too. You can have them function very similarly. You
can keep his Warlock Punch.
We don't necessarily need to keep Warlock Punch, all right? He can
But it's such a good name for an attack.
In one of his custom moves in Smash 4, by the way, custom moves were a huge fucking mistake in how they were implemented. But in one of his custom moves in Smash 4, he pulls out a sword instead for the Warlock Punch. You could do something similar to that with a little bit more sword emphasis in the animation. Also, give him his float. Just let him float. That's kind of cool, a heavy character who can float.
I guess so. But Warlock Punch is pretty cool, though. You gotta admit.
Instead of well, what's the oh my god, what's the name for his kick? Is it also Warlock Kick? I don't think it is. Wizard's Foot. Wizard's Foot. There it is.
Foot, baby.
All right, I'm gonna list off some characters here, and I just want you guys to give me a yes or no of whether you think they're gonna be cut. Okay.
Okay. We have lengthy, meaningless discussions on each one.
If you want to, but to start off with a yes or no. Bowser Jr. Yes or no?
Yes.
Wait. What games was he in?
Hold on.
Bowser Jr. No. Roy, yes.
No, hold on. Stop.
Baby Bowser, yes.
Okay, look. If I answer yes, am I saying yes, he'll be cut, or yes, he'll be back?
Yes, he'll be cut.
Well, hold on. Was he in the game?
Yes, he was in Smash 4.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Okay. So my answer is no.
Let me rephrase this so Funk understands what I'm talking about. Funk, is Baby Bowser going to get cut from the game?
I'm not even memeing. I completely forgot he was in the game.
That's when we started our meme.
Oh, hold on. I'm Googling this right now.
I mean...
Oh, he was in the clown car.
Yes.
Funk, this is where we started the meme of us talking about Baby Bowser and then Bowser Jr. He's not his father. Because you kept referring to him as that when we were playing Smash 4.
Oh, and this was like 6 years ago.
It was
He's
3.5.
Son.
It was 3.5 years ago.
It's almost 6. Round up.
Is Greninja getting cut? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
He's gone.
I'm gonna say no.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's still really popular.
They kept Lucario, so
they kept Lucario. So I'm gonna say no.
I think Greninja might get cut.
No, I think it's like 60-40, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna say
No,
no.
way.
All right. How about Robin?
Literally who?
He'll stay.
Oh, gone.
Robin.
Cut.
No.
Was Robin the
I don't think he'll be. No. Robin was the tactician from Fire Emblem.
No, but there was another Fire Emblem character who people kept posting the feed of.
Corin.
Oh,
Yes.
Lucina?
Yeah.
Is
No,
Corin
not
gonna
Lucina.
get cut?
Yeah. Well, my
Well,
thoughts.
all the
are
Fire
that-
Emblems are getting cut that aren't Marth and female Marth.
Robin, male Robin, at the very least, is a really, really popular character for Fire Emblem.
Yeah, they'll probably keep them just because it's not a generic sword wielder.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting we probably are going to get the new Fire Emblem game before Smash comes out. Like that's supposed to be
right.
this year.
Mhm.
So
Corin,
they'll probably
I
be
think,
adding another character for
yeah,
Smash.
I think Corin will get cut. I'm gonna say Corin gets cut.
Yeah, I would think that too.
Sure,
Okay.
why not?
Shulk.
Stay.
Oh.
He'll stay.
Oh man, that's kind of difficult because I feel like they would want to emphasize Xenoblade 2.
Right. Is there
And so-
is there a good character from that game to put in?
Yes, Rex will almost certainly be in the game. He's the main character.
Yeah, so I would assume Rex would be in instead of Shulk. If they don't do that, they would have Shulk, but then they would also have what's her name? The
Sword-
girl,
Sword
Sword Girl,
Elma?
Fire Girl,
Oh, you mean Pyra?
Pyra. They might have Pyra instead.
Homura.
I think she would make more sense with Rex, like a combination character.
I guess that
because,
does make sense. Yeah.
Like the whole point of that game is that the blades are tied to their owners.
Oh,
so-
you're right. So she is literally his weapon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Shulk sticks around as basically the Marth equivalent for Xenoblade.
Yeah,
I
maybe
can
they'll
see
have
that.
both, but I have a feeling that they're gonna replace Shulk with Rex.
All right. What about Rosalina?
Oh,
Stay.
she's staying.
Oh, stays.
Stay.
She's
That's where I like to hear.
literally Nintendo's Lightning.
Don't say that.
No, she's now like canon Mario character. You can't cut her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's
can't,
legacy.
you can't cut her.
What about Duck Hunt Dog?
But
I want him to stay.
Yeah,
so
I
hard.
love Duck Hunt Dog, but I think he might get cut,
He's probably gonna get cut.
or he'll just be another DLC character.
I think
They're gonna-
I think he'll stay. I mean, I remember all this talk about, maybe Game & Watch will be cut when Brawl was coming out, and then when 4 was coming out, it's like, well, maybe Rob will be cut. These retro surprise characters don't get cut, and I feel like sometimes with like these, hey, bet you weren't expecting this guy. I feel like
What?
sometimes we're accumulating a little too many of these guys.
I was
but
gonna
don't
say
think
the
they'll be cut.
bulwark's gonna break at some point. You can't
Yeah.
just
What-
have half your
What
roster
retro
be
character? What retro character
Balloon
are they gonna
fight.
introduce next?
balloon.
Well, wait. I think that might be a topic next coming up here, Matt.
Yeah, we can
let's
talk
get-
about that after.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's true.
I think everyone is in agreement that Pac-Man is not getting cut, right?
No way, because they
Will
could,
be in.
because some guy
Namco's-
accidentally leaked that Namco's still working on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pac-Man's
Pac-Man's
staying.
in. I mean,
What if they-
just
cut-
the novelty of having like there's that image of like Mario, Mega Man, Sonic, and Pac-Man all fighting each other, and just the novelty of that whole thing. They're like, no one's gonna want that to. So
Bear with me here. Hot take. Cut Pac-Man. Introduce Dig Dug. Or
Or
keep Pac-Man. Introduce Clyde.
You just want a character called Clyde in the game.
who I want to know who was the YouTuber who had like some like crazy reaction to Pac-Man being in Smash 4 in the same vein to how people reacted to Mega Man being in Smash 4.
Unfortunately, not a single YouTuber's reaction is genuine.
That is
Because
true.
because Pac-Man was shown to a back room first, and everyone was told about it later.
I want to see who was literally shaking when Pac-Man was revealed.
What about Mega Man?
Mega Man's staying.
He stays.
Especially with the new game coming out.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What about Ryu?
If Mega Man is staying, there's no reason to cut Ryu.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah, he probably stays.
How about Cloud?
Cloud, I could see leaving.
Cut.
Yeah, I can see him being cut.
I'm not sure I'd commit to like a yes or no here. Very sorry, but I could see him leaving.
I guess it depends on how much they want to make this a third-party game as well.
I found Cloud strange to begin with because he was like the Final Fantasy character from the Final Fantasy game that abandoned Nintendo.
Yeah.
So it just always seemed kind of strange.
I mean, it's nice. He's nice for just the novelty of.
Yeah, that's true. Like I like the
a-
fact that he was in 4.
Of such a hugely iconic character that people have thought would never ever make it into Smash Bros. Somehow making it in.
Right.
That being said, I didn't have, and this is very sad, but I didn't have a single friend who knew who Cloud was.
Oh my god!
Right.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
not a one. Maybe 10 years ago in a pre-COD landscape, I would have been friends with people who knew who Cloud was, but not these days.
What year were you born in, Collin?
I was born in '94.
Okay,
So
were your friends about the same age?
Yeah. So these are people in like their mid-20s, right? Who consider themselves pretty in the know with video games.
Well, they
no
consider themselves that way.
Yeah, no idea who the fuck Cloud is.
I guess you could say he doesn't have much clout.
I'm gonna kill somebody.
Is Bayonetta getting cut?
No.
way.
No.
She's basically a Nintendo character now.
Yeah.
The thing is though,
Her third game is arriving exclusively to Switch.
no, I understand that. I understand that. But so this is more of an opinion than I guess a solid argument. But with her, Cloud and Street Fighter, their aesthetics clash, I think, extensively with the rest of the game. Well, so hear me out.
Hold on. I'm gonna go take a pee. Somebody remind me what Funk is saying when I come back.
Great.
Oh god.
So their aesthetics clash so much that I think they make a lot more sense as DLC characters. That they don't ship with the game, and you buy them on a if you want them, you know. But to see them ship like on the disc and be fully integrated, it just seems too dissonant for me.
You know, I gotta admit, I completely forgot that Ryu was ever in the game. But
Yeah, like I bought all the DLC characters, but I probably only played them like once or twice.
So let's just go over the DLC characters that exist. There's Cloud, Bayonetta, Ryu,
Lucas, Mewtwo.
oh yeah,
Roy.
me too.
And
Roy.
Corrin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. It's nice that they had. I mean, this is not something I say very often, but it's nice that they had DLC. But I don't think the game really gained a lot by having it. Aside from the novelty of seeing those characters in Smash Brothers, it never made me want to come back to play it or to play as them.
Well,
I think it would like if I had people to play it with regularly, it would have more value than it did.
I know one person who will always play with you.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Honestly,
would.
it's like it's not the same playing it online as it is with people in the room.
No,
Yeah.
it's definitely not. What was Funk saying? I just came back to my PP.
Funk was saying that because all the DLC characters all have very clashing looking art styles and stuff, and
Then compared
they
to
feel-
the base game.
yeah, and they feel more like DLC characters than they do like actual, like they feel like add-ons
I don't know.
as opposed to
It's
like
just that
actual characters. It just feels weird.
I wouldn't say Cloud or Bayonetta clash any more than the Fire Emblem characters.
I would
I
probably
disagree.
agree with that. Yeah,
I disagree.
but yeah, there's no way that like Bayonetta is here to stay. She is basically a Nintendo character now, and she is like the mature Nintendo crowd character.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
Wait. I don't think Steve. What about think there are a couple more that you could ask. What about Roy?
Well, I did want to ask, like, what about the Mii fighters?
Oh,
Are Mii's dead?
I hope they're cut. Honestly,
Yeah.
Keep me Gunner, cut the rest.
I kind of hope they're cut. If putting them into Smash 5, right? If that's like a substantial amount of work, I say cut them. I don't think they're worth it.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch doesn't even use Mii's that much, does it?
No, it's an option, but like there aren't really any Mii-focused games.
The Switch feels like it's kind of abandoned a lot of that like Wii stuff that the Wii introduced, like the Mii's and all that shit.
I'm saying even if they're reusing assets, right, and they're not really that strenuous to get all three of them over, right, and all their costumes and shit, I'm saying if all the work that it takes to get them onto Smash 5 is just worth one totally new character, take that one totally new character.
Yeah, like I feel like that's something that is probably should be just kept to that game, because that kind of all went along with the whole custom attacks thing, right?
Yeah, and if they ditch that,
and I feel like they should just ditch that entirely.
Do you think he will break hearts second time by cutting Mewtwo, Lucas, and Roy?
Mewtwo and Lucas stay, Roy gone.
Yeah, I can see that. Mewtwo is definitely staying.
Okay, what about Roy Koopa and Roy Daddy Doo? Are they?
Oh my god!
I think they'll be sticking around. What about and for me, this character is staying, but I know that there's some talk about this stuff always. Palutena. I think that character's staying.
She's staying.
Especially because it's Sakurai and that's one of his games. So
that's his waifu. That's straight, just straight up his waifu.
That's his Lightning.
Well, hey, she's voiced by Lightning.
Oh my god!
How deep does this run?
Remember the trailer when they revealed her, where they just straight up had a shot of her ass and tits?
Yeah, it was great.
You still see
anime.
that screenshot.
It was actual anime. All right, let's maybe run down a few potential newcomers.
Number one, I'll start.
You can come at this from whether you think it's likely or whether you personally want it or both.
This is one I actually think is not. I would say 70% likely. And I'm stealing the initiative here.
Who'd you say?
Waddle Doo.
Are you talking about? Wait.
The famous Kirby character, Waddle Doo.
Do you mean Waddle Doo or Bandana D?
Bandana D.
That's who you mean?
Yeah.
Not
He's got like a
Waddle
bandana. Whatever.
Waddle Doo is the one with like the big eyeball that shoots lasers.
Fuck! I knew I was going to get it wrong.
We don't need 4 Kirby characters.
I would be perfectly fine with Bandana D, or Gooey.
Gooey would be lit, Famagachi. He would be great.
If Frank was in the game, I would lose it.
Okay, I think what sucks is that Bandana Waddle Dee is the most likely of any Kirby character, but he's the most bland you could have added. Like Rick, Gooey, Marks, all these characters would be way cooler.
What about a Pokemon trainer setup of those, of like switching between like Rick, Gooey, and Marks?
Well, they already do that. They already do that in Kirby Star Allies.
Yeah.
Like when you play as the Kirby's Dreamland 2 characters, you just kind of like different attacks just kind of are different characters.
With the separating of characters like Samus and Zero Suit Samus and stuff like that, I think he doesn't want to have multiple characters in the same character.
True. That's true.
So
people
didn't
just like that.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's a little disappointing that Kirby has such a wide cast of characters, and it's only just now in Star Allies that they're starting to kind of inch him back into the spotlight.
Uh-huh.
Because I have very little height. I don't dislike Bandana Waddle Dee. I'd be totally fine with his inclusion. I just don't really have any sort of excitement for him, for his inclusion, just because he has a spear.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't get excited about much nowadays, much less in regards to Smash Brothers. But I would crack a smile if I saw Bandana Waddle Dee.
He'd certainly be cute. He'd be cute.
That would be pretty funny. Just seeing people flip out over that.
All right, what about yes or no, Waluigi?
Oh my god!
So realistically, no. But
realistically, no.
In our hearts, yes.
He'll be an assist trophy again.
It's insane the 10 years of total denial of Waluigi fans. From like Brawl hype, he's absolutely gonna be in this one. We gotta have all the plumbers.
That's gonna be the game that dabs on everybody at Nintendo's.
And then
they're gonna reveal the Waluigi game.
Yeah,
this year.
And then Smash 4, you know, they're all so sure, right, that it's good that Waluigi's gonna make it again. And I'm Monday morning quarterbacking here, but I was pretty certain Waluigi was not gonna be in Smash 4. And now in Smash 5, now I'm finally kind of relenting here. It might be his time. Just because like
Waluigi time.
Yeah, the well has run dry, and again I said, if there's a demand, why not meet it? He's a popular character. He's pretty funny. I'm not saying the Mario sports games need representation, but you could draw from those for his moveset.
His down B could be pulling out the cat car.
His home stage could be Moo Moo Meadows.
He can do the like that one. What's that called? Like in the soccer game where he like points to his dick.
Oh, the crotch chop.
Crotch chop.
Yeah,
that could be one of his taunts.
I think the only thing that would be disappointing about a Waluigi inclusion would be all the people acting like this was like a well-deserved inclusion after all this time.
Like this was his turn.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, but despite everything I said, you know, I like Waluigi. I think he's funny. Go ahead, put him in.
If they show him at like E3 during their thing, we should all pat ourselves on the back for getting him in the game.
Yeah. You're welcome, Internet.
We did it, bros.
All right, what about Balloon Fight Man?
Oh God. I doubt that.
I think that he's a good runner for random retro characters.
As a tribute to Iwata.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'd assume that they might try again to put Balloon Fighter in the game, because they tried for him in Melee and they couldn't think of anything for him.
But then they made a moveset out of Duck Hunt Dog, so anything's possible.
So they could. I'm assuming that for Balloon Fighter, they'd steal a bunch of other shit from other NES games. In arcade games, maybe they'd steal stuff from like Stanley from Donkey Kong 3. You know, they'd give him some bug spray.
This is how you know Collin is in way too many Smash Brothers threads, because nobody on the cuff just busts out a Stanley from Donkey Kong 3 reference.
No,
in regards to movesets. This is something you've discussed before.
I have, yes, yeah, I have ruminated on what they might do with Balloon Fighter.
When you go as deep as Stanley from Donkey Kong 3, you need to pull back.
That's okay, but see, I've brought up Stanley in different Smash Brothers conversations. Like,
you want Stan Lee in the game.
We all want Stan Lee in the game.
Yeah. Sorry for being the one guy who bet on Stanley at one point during Smash 4 hype.
But wasn't like Donkey Kong 3 like a massive disappointment for Nintendo?
Was it?
Yeah, and they didn't really.
I feel like that was probably true.
Yeah, and they don't really like to talk about it. So
they should really adopt Kitty's moveset from Donkey Kong 3.
That's baby.
Country 3.
Likes.
But yeah, Country 3. As a tribute to Sakurai's best buddy. That's the only reason why I'd assume Balloon Fighter could get in.
I think so too. What about Ashley?
She's gonna be an assist trophy.
Strength of the distance.
Look, this character is in every single Japanese speculation video. I have watched a fair amount of them, okay? I have watched a fair amount of Japanese Smash Bros. Speculation videos. Ashley is present in every single freaking one.
Japs love Ashley.
Before I started learning about just how much support this character had, I probably would have said nah, because she's basically just a background, like window dressing for mini games in WarioWare. But yeah, maybe they'd throw in Ashley. Who knows?
I mean, I'd honestly be okay with it. I love WarioWare, and Ashley's one of the best characters in it.
Matt love WarioWare.
I love WarioWare.
How about King K. Rool?
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of hate that character.
Yeah,
I
know.
actually
Me
don't
too.
like. Yeah, I don't like King K. Rool's design whatsoever. But I love Donkey Kong. I would love more villains. He's got moveset potential. I don't like his default design. I like every K. Rool design that's not his default. I like the captain design, the
His
scientist one.
cosplay designs.
Yeah,
I don't think is King K. Rool even in the new Donkey Kong Country
No.
Returns games.
he's not.
Yeah. So who gives a fuck anymore? Move on.
But a lot of
King K.
people,
Rool-
apparently.
King K. Rool would be the first character ever added to Smash Brothers well after his period of relevancy to his own franchise.
What about
And that's very specific criteria, and I understand that's super specific criteria, but it's true.
to be
Captain
fair, Colin?
Falcon.
That's only one criterion. It's not several criteria.
Yeah, sorry.
Whoa.
Um, but I would be totally okay with King K. Rool getting in just because of fan demand alone.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it.
I think it's his turn, and it's Donkey Kong's turn, for the love of God.
What about this? Does Nintendo cross the aisle and ask Microsoft for Banjo?
I highly doubt that's going
Because
to happen.
Phil Spencer has been on record saying, like, I think he would be okay with that. Like, if
Is
Nintendo
Banjo
asked.
even popular in Japan?
No.
Yeah, he is.
No.
Well, not really.
Decently enough.
How many times does Banjo appear in those Japanese videos, Colin?
Not as often as Ashley, but I did see Banjos.
It's. I
Which-
mean, it's
what-
easy to forget when he's had like one game in 20 years.
If Banjo gets in, which Banjo is it? Is it classic Banjo or Banjo nuts and bolts Banjo?
Oh,
I
God.
think they would let Sakurai design him on his own, like
Yeah.
whatever new design he would want.
I don't think Nintendo would do it.
I don't think they would either. but-
I doubt they would do it too.
Has Sakurai even played Banjo Kazooie?
especially because he's a Western character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you already had this written down, Steve.
I don't have anything written down. So
Okay, never mind. But what about Crash Bandicoot?
Okay. I suppose, but again,
He's very
West-
popular in Japan.
yeah,
Really?
but Western character.
He's got a lot of demand. Crash for Smash is a thing in Japan.
I would be mad if they went and got a quote unquote Sony character, but didn't get a Microsoft character. And I know Crash is not a Sony character, but you know that's where his legacy is.
I just think that would be the ultimate. That would be like the ultimate icing on the cucking cake
For PlayStation
for
All-Stars.
Sony. For Sony, like beginning of the year, have a fucking trailer for the Crash trilogy on Switch, and then have Crash and Smash. Like I can only imagine the Wojaks posted.
I think if they were gonna do him, it would be DLC or something.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could definitely see that, because you're talking about a roster that was. I'm not saying the selection process is the same all the time, but I'm assuming that Crash Insane Trilogy coming to Switch was a thing decided upon in late 2017.
Yeah.
So I don't think there'd be Smash Brothers negotiations going on at that point.
Yeah,
And if there were, that you'd be hitting that DLC stride. And that's the same. By the way, I'm going to apply that same logic to The Chosen Undead and Solaire. those could be DLC characters because Bandai Namco is working on the game.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
I am
Vexels,
absolutely anticipating another Bandai Namco character at least being DLC for this game.
Dig Dug.
Maybe Dig Dug. Who knows?
What about
Maybe Cruisin' USA car.
Collin? Unironically, what do you think about the potential for either Dragonborn or Doom Guy, Doomslayer? I guess it should be to be accurate.
All right. Okay. All right. Look here. Doom Guy would be amazing. I would be, and we've been talking a lot about how a lot of these characters just wouldn't really make me hype. Like, I've been shrugging my shoulders about a lot of these. Doom Guy would drive me insane.
That would be
That might
great.
be like the one character pick that actually makes me go crazy. Besides Ridley. Ridley.
Wait, is this in a good way or what?
No. This is a good way. This is a very hyped way. And I'm not even saying like I'm in love with Ridley or anything, but just like because of the meme potential of Ridley getting it is amazing. But Doom Guy would be incredible. He has from the videos I watched, he has very little going for him in Japan.
Mhm.
But again, I'm only watching I could only be hitting the tip of the iceberg here. It's a very small pool of people when you think about it.
Mhm.
I've seen some other mentions of him in different Smash Brothers threads when people are going to like Japanese message boards and news sites and stuff or like Japanese Twitter accounts. Yeah, Doom Guy's been mentioned here and there, but I don't think he's got a huge enough following for them to really consider him.
Mhm.
Dragonborn, I'd be less hyped for, but I think he's actually slightly more likely than Doom Guy because Skyrim is bigger in Japan. It's pretty big in Japan, right? It's big enough. It was very influential on Breath of the Wild.
Right.
So I think I would not rule out Dragonborn, but I'd be way more hyped for Doom Guy.
Yeah. It just feels like Bethesda's working a lot more closely with Nintendo. I mean, fuck, we have what? Skyrim, Wolfenstein, and Doom all on the Switch. All within like a few months. Which is pretty crazy.
That was almost the Matt trifecta of Skyrim and Wolfenstein. And you just needed to fuck Doom up somehow.
Any other characters, Steve? Oh,
I mean, that's all I could think of off the top of my head.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one down
Go ahead.
for the boys here. Who Pikmin here? Who more Pikmin reps?
How many more
Fuck
Pikmin reps could you
What's
have?
the name of Pikmin Olimar Man's brother?
Louis?
It's not his brother. It's Louis. Louis' his co-worker.
They're just good coworkers.
They're like the Mythbusters. They don't actually like each other.
I saw.
Is that who you're talking about, though? I mean, how many other
No,
Pikmin
I mean-
characters are there?
There you could pick from. Well, there are a couple other playable characters. There are like 5 other playable characters from Pikmin that you can.
Well, I know the 3 in Pikmin 3, and they were represented.
Yeah, you had Alpha as an alt costume for Olimar in 4. Although apparently there were rock Pikmin files found in Smash 4's data.
It's very exciting.
No, yeah, well, I mean that seems to imply that Alf was also going to be a dessert character like Dark Pit and Lucina.
Maybe they could have like giant worm with wings as a Pikmin representative.
Look, the Plasm Wraith could play a role in Pikmin 4. And if they had the Plasm Wraith as a playable character in Smash Brothers, that would be awesome. It's extremely unlikely, but the Plasm Wraith is super cool.
Maybe they could have like opened an empty can of soda as a Pikmin rep, or Duracell battery.
Let's see. What's the Pokemon you guys are betting on?
Gorochu, I guess. Whoever that mysterious new one Pokemon is in those new games.
I think I'm gonna put my money on Mimikyu.
Gorochu or Garchomp?
Why Garchomp? What? That's
because I like saying the name Garchomp.
I would probably go with Decidueye.
Is Decidueye big in the anime?
No, he's not.
No.
Oh.
But it was in Pokken.
Yeah.
So is Garchomp. Telling you guys.
Decidueye is really popular everywhere but Japan.
That's weird.
Which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the selection process for a Pokemon is quite the same as it would have been for 4. Because in 4, they had, Sakurai, he got to look at the early sketches or concept art for Greninja, right? And he just picked Greninja from that. And Greninja was revealed a few months after XY was out. And even though this game has a similar development time to Smash 4, and he probably they could have done the same deal with the concept art, he still had more time to see what was actually popular from Sun and Moon. Mm. And that's why I think Mimikyu is more likely than we think he is.
I just feel like he's too similar to Pikachu, like in the looks department.
I mean, you've got Mario and Luigi in this game.
I guess.
They're doing what they can.
I guess. I can see Mimikyu. Just from a popularity standpoint.
Mimikyu will be a Pokeball.
I would
also see that.
I would see that much more likely.
Yeah, Mimikyu could also be a Pokeball, but I would be pretty hyped for Mimikyu as a playable character.
Oh, Collin, I do have one more.
Oh shit, no.
So let me paint a scene.
No.
You're watching the Nintendo E3 Direct, and Sakurai is introducing the next character, and then he throws it to someone else, and a man comes on screen, and he says, "Hi, this is Jeff from the Overwatch team. I'm here to introduce Tracer in Smash Brothers."
I would not be excited at all.
What if you had to choose one Overwatch character who could actually work in Smash Brothers?
I mean, it would be Tracer if it was any.
I'm pretty sure it would be that onion mascot.
Well, I mean, they would have to announce Overwatch for Switch first.
I mean,
what if they did that during the same announcement?
Oh my god!
If that was happening, that announcement would also go along with it. But also, I know that they're not making Overwatch for Switch. So,
ironically, the best Overwatch character for Smash Brothers is Zenyatta.
Is that so?
Yeah, followed by Ana. Ana would
what?
be. I like Ana. She's got a good design.
But then you don't get like the think pieces about how Smash Brothers has its first openly gay character.
And that's a good thing.
Damn it.
I think Roadhog would be a good fit.
Yeah, he would.
Can I just say this? Fuck everybody who wants Shovel Knight.
Hat Kid.
What Hat Kid? Fucking what's her name? Shantae. And Jesus Christ, I want to murder the ever-loving fuck out of this goddamn asshole who keeps posting these sans threads all over me. Please, for the love of God,
what if it happens?
But what if you're ready to have a bad time?
At least Shantae was on the gameplay.
I would be so mad. I would be legitimately so mad if that happened.
I can't say I'd be mad about any of those 3 being in the game. Although I think all of their fan bases should kill themselves.
I think that's a good place to end this discussion.
I think. Wait, just to cap it off.
Go ahead.
I'm hoping this game gives me something to be excited about that isn't the roster.
Yeah. I would absolutely love another crack at a story mode.
Bring back board the platforms.
I'm sorry, Matt. Was that ever a mode in the game?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was in Smash 1.
You must be thinking of.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll be back with the much anticipated Pokemon discussion.
Wait, that's E3. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, but what about Sony?
I guess we'll find out.
We need
in
to
2
see
weeks.
more of Days Gone.
Welcome back to the Sonic Board podcast. I guess we should probably talk about that big Pokemon news that happened yesterday out of the blue.
Pokemon Quest. Oh my god.
I still don't quite understand the thrust of all this.
So I've been playing Pokemon Quest the past day.
Oh, of course.
What did I think about it?
It's very mobile game tier to the point where like you can't really play it with a controller. Like if I play with a controller, I just have the game play itself. I just set it to auto, and then the Pokemon just go fight by themselves. It's more playable if you just play it undocked and just use the touchscreen, but it's very much a mobile game. That's all there is to say about it. That's all there is to say about Pokemon. That was the only thing they announced. So
All right, we'll see you guys for the next podcast.
So, okay, let's get a ruling on this, Collin. The thing was whether or not a Pokemon game was going to come out this year, or whether it was going to be a core series entry this year. What was the debate?
Well, I guess there were many people arguing on many sides of this one. However, there's still some debate over whether or not this is core series.
Yeah, apparently, like on the Japanese website, it says it is, but the English Twitter said the next game coming out next year is the core series entry. I kind of view this Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee stuff as kind of like, the remakes of their just like side games of a similar build to the main games, except for the fact that they have way more stuff taken out of it, and the games have been completely casualized, which is a lot when you consider Pokemon's very casual to begin with.
Yeah, I think when people are referring to these adamantly as spin-offs, they're referring to them in almost a hopeful manner that they won't influence the next game.
Yes.
Or their quality isn't indicative of the next game.
But I don't think they will influence the next game that much, because if they're coming out a year apart, I would think they've already kind of established what that game next year is going to be. And they're not going to make a drastic shift in development based on what happens with this game in November, which I do think this game is going to be incredibly popular.
Oh no, yeah. Oh yeah. This one's gonna be pretty big. It's more just I know that like random encounters are gonna be back in the next one. I think that people are just saying are using the spin-off thing as an excuse for its presentation, though.
I agree, but it's also very different because it's clearly not a competitive Pokemon game, and the Pokemon Company does like kind of pride themselves on running a competitive aspect of Pokemon, and they still need games to do that. And the games that are coming next year are going to fill that role.
They'll do that, absolutely.
But this game, you probably can't even transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Bank. Like it's not going to be a competitive game in any sense. It is really just an even more casual Pokemon game.
Which is just crazy that they keep finding ways to casualize it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been saying this for like 8 years now. Of saying, did we need to casualize Pokemon like this? And they keep finding new ways to do so. And what's funny, you think they're casualizing it for kids, but I think this has generated more interest in people in their 20s, closing in on 30s, than it has even in kids.
The insane people who still play Pokemon Go. That is the audience for this game.
Yeah,
Which
and there are
apparently is still a
millions
lot
who
of
do
people,
that.
which
Yeah.
I find bizarre, but
And even among the people who didn't, though, who played it for a week and then dropped it, right? That's still, that spark of interest is still there.
they'll play this for a week and drop it too, but they'll
Yeah.
buy it.
They'll buy it. Yeah, they'll buy a Switch for it.
Yeah.
There are people out there. Like, how many friggin' downloads did Pokemon Go get? Like 750 million?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So if 1%, if 1% of those people buy Switches for this game, that's 7.5 million sales.
Yeah.
Do we think this is going to be a full priced game?
Yes.
Yes.
I think they already
Not
confirmed it.
only is it full priced, but the Pokeball accessory is also $50 on top of that.
Oh God!
Because
Pay up, William.
that is a fully functioning Joy-Con controller. Like that is that technology. So, if you want, I believe if you do want the full package of this, it's going to be north of $100.
Here's your controller, bro.
We've of course seen very little of this game, but I feel like the more I see of it, the more underwhelmed I'm going to become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this game is just going to be a total breeze, and it's going to encourage you to make it as brain dead as possible.
It's going to encourage you to download Pokemon Go and spend all that money on Pokemon Go and shit like that. I think is what their target is for this.
Didn't they confirm that you can't actually evolve your starters?
Yes.
Like you can't evolve.
You can't evolve Pikachu or Eevee, but
Which
you can
is
catch. But you can catch another Pikachu and another Eevee in the game.
But it's stupid when you have a Pokemon that can evolve into 7 different Pokemon and you can't evolve.
Why? The whole idea of Eevee is that it can evolve. It's in the fucking name. It's Eevee.
That made sense in Yellow version as an adaptation of the anime where Pikachu refused to evolve. It doesn't really make sense here.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's just so bizarre.
I would be honestly more upset at this game's existence if they didn't then turn around and confirm the games that were coming next year. Like, if this was the direction of the franchise, that would be incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
But it's easier to set this thing aside. Maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. But it's not like I think this will drastically shift where Pokemon is going. It may just add a different set of games for people to buy. That's it.
Steve, in the anime, did Gary ever evolve his Eevee?
Yes, Umbreon.
Oh, he did make an Umbreon.
Yeah.
Okay, Gary confirmed. Best boy.
That's interesting because Red had an Espeon.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is true.
That's very interesting.
Even more than how this game plays, with all the stuff they've taken out, making it more casual and stuff, I do also think it just looks underwhelming. Like, this feels like a minimum effort of what they could do for a Switch game.
It looks like a mobile game.
It does, yeah. Not even just like the fidelity of the graphics, but the actual character design. Like, the faces almost kind of look like the 3DS characters, but the body proportions are like terrible. Like, that's the mobile game aspect of it to me.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier, is that it feels like people want to excuse this presentation just because it's the quote spin-off one. Mm-hmm. When I feel like the more they excuse it, the more they're setting themselves up to get used to this and excuse it again later when the mainline games also look similar to this. Like, we're looking at like very blocky map design in this game. It looks very plain.
It's just like the old level design made HD.
Yeah,
and, there could be a certain charm of it, and I think there was to an extent when the series first went 3D, but not anymore. I think standards have been raised. You compare this to other console RPGs, and it just doesn't hold up. Like, I think I don't even necessarily care about the gameplay changes that much, but like have a world that's different. Have a different way to explore that world, and I think that makes up for a lot of it.
And Steve and I were having a conversation about this game the other day before it was officially announced, and I was going in much more optimistic than you. I was really hoping that going back to Kanto would kind of let them have this fresh spin on things. And they get to reinterpret all these old areas. Mm-hmm. And then we come back and it's all shapy still. It is just like HD Fire Red screen. It's basically a pop-up book.
Yeah.
Right? What's more is that it seems like the crop of Pokemon they're going to be using is going to be basically the 151 and then apparently some Alola forms. I'm not sure if this is 100% confirmed.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the case,
they also just added Alolan forms to Pokemon Go, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a huge disappointment because you're gunning here to draw in a bunch of these people who vapidly disavow all Pokemon post Gen 1, right? All the normies. And you're getting a lot of their interest with this game, right?
Yeah.
And it would be so easy. It would be so easy to just sneak in a couple lines from later generations that just happen to kind of fit the Gen 1 aesthetic, right? Mm-hmm. And then throw in the evolutions. Like imagine a normie playing the game, seeing like Crobat and being like, yeah, I think that was there. Yeah,
because I remember very, very clearly back then, like people were excited to see what these Pokemon that maybe didn't have evolutions in Gen 1, what would they evolve into if you came up with a new evolution for them. And when people saw a lot of them in Gen 2, they kind of freaked out because that was very cool. So, I don't think they would have much of a version to that, but.
No, I think you could easily influence them into like opening up their minds to more Pokemon like that. But as it is, if this is the approach they're taking with it, all these people that are interested in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee but haven't been interested in the past couple generations, they're not going to take interest in Gen 8.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe.
I'm not sure if they're betting on that.
I can't remember how well Sun and Moon sold. Like, were those the first games after Go, or did X and Y come after Go?
Yeah, Sun and Moon sold very well. Yeah, obviously, it's Pokemon.
I remember there was talk that maybe it got a boost initially.
Yeah, I think it probably did, yeah.
But I don't think it sold more than X and Y overall. I could be wrong on that, but I remember seeing that. But either way, it's... especially coming from someone who's played all the games, like... I have also used these Gen 1 Pokemon in pretty much every subsequent generation since then, because they show up so frequently, even in the newer games, that it's just like going back and playing and just having a team of Gen 1 Pokemon is just so boring. I love a lot of those Pokemon, but just having another team of them, again, is kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite generation of Pokemon was Gen 5 with Black and White, simply because it was the first game where it was just like, since Gen 1, of course, where it's just all new Pokemon, like in the world. And to me, that was just so exciting because there's something fresh, there was something different. And, but, here we, I mean, it's like you say, it's more of the same pandering that we just get every year, it seems like. It's not like, okay, every 5 years we get another Gen 1 thing. It's like, it's more and more, recurring, it seems like. Like,
at best, I think playing through this game will feel like how I felt playing through Omega Ruby, where this is the game that I played before, and it's perfectly serviceable, but I didn't really derive much enjoyment out of it.
I didn't even finish Omega Ruby. I just got bored.
Yeah, like I had that brief moment of nostalgia of the time that I did like playing through Pokemon Ruby, but that
just made me want to play through the original games instead because they were better.
Yeah.
And also, Steve, just to confirm, Pokemon X and Y sold 16.29 million. Sun and Moon is 16.10.
Okay,
Damn.
so basically the same. Although
Basically the same.
But the fact that they came out later with a bigger install base kind of makes that less impressive.
Yeah, I guess so.
So another thing that kind of is different about this game is there are no random encounters and no wild Pokemon battles. The Pokemon are just on the overworld, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's weird.
Oh, so it's like it's like Mario and Luigi?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, and a lot of RPGs have moved away from wild encounters, or random encounters, but
Yeah.
I still think that's a very enjoyable aspect of Pokemon. I like the feeling of just walking into a patch of grass and not knowing when I'm going to run into, and just seeing them on the overworld also gives this feeling of how small the world is. Like,
Yeah.
when you take those original maps and just basically they're the same proportions, just in HD. The whole world feels really small.
It also kind of ruins the surprise too,
Yeah.
because kind of part of the fun of Wild Encounters is like, oh boy, what's it gonna be? But if you just see it, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna avoid that shit. Oh, good, another Rattata. Fuck that.
Yeah, I am seeing a lot of normie comments being shared on this, and it's all very positive.
Of course it is.
Even to I'm not even seeing anybody even note about the wild encounter thing. I'm not really sure how people that have kind of fallen off the Pokemon wagon, how they'll receive that really when they think about it, because I'm not even sure of like how many people are really taking note of it, because it doesn't really say in the trailer that no, you're not actually fighting these Pokemon, because they only show you catching them. I'm not sure if that was like a focus group tested decision there, or if it's just something they assumed that they liked.
I think they won't mind because they've gotten used to it from playing Pokemon Go.
Right.
And whereas a lot of us who really like Pokemon saw that game, saw the capture mechanics, and like, there's really nothing here. Like, this isn't how Pokemon is. They didn't really have that direct reaction. It's like, oh, a Pikachu, I threw a Pokeball at it, I got it. Like, to
People
them,
are
that's the extent of it.
Somewhere at some point in time, the entire world just became really autistic and decided that collecting things is really fun. I don't know how this happened, but it did.
I mean, that is the basis of Pokemon to begin with, but
I guess so.
there was a game built around it.
Yeah, and now it's just throw Pokeball at thing, you get it. Now look at the big list of things you have.
Like, this almost feels like a museum tour of the original Pokemon games.
Yeah. It's
Steve.
What do you think, Funk?
I think I understand.
Hold on,
how
wait.
Kenny feels.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. My computer might be about to shut down and freeze. Okay, no, wait, I'm good.
Well, I'm glad you interrupted my joke. You asshole. I'm so far out of the loop on this. I just don't have an opinion. I don't even know what I'm missing. Don't understand.
Did you play Sun and Moon?
No. My latest experience with the Pokemon game was watching like an 8-hour video on Omega Ruby, and
You bring that up every chance you get.
it was great. It was probably more fun than playing the game. So I don't understand what Pokemon, the Eevee and the Pikachu game is. I don't know what that is versus the other Pokemon game that they announced, and I also don't know what that is against a Pokemon game that they announced for the far future that you briefly alluded to. So I have not seen any of these announcements. I haven't seen any screenshots or gameplay or whatever. I am become Kenny, Halo King.
Kenny here?
No,
he
he's
left.
long gone.
Rip. So, what was your point? Were you gonna?
But I didn't have a point. Steve addressed me.
Oh,
He said, "Funk, what do you think?" I didn't just barge into this, Mr. Frozen Computer Man. Don't jump down my fucking throat.
I thought you were gonna. round this out somehow.
No, I was brought into this. You know what I've been doing for the past 10 minutes, Colin? I've been writing a report for work. I just sent that in.
Did you
So
accidentally type like Pikachu because you were listening to the conversation, or
Maybe
no?
I have like 90% certainty that nobody's going to read it anyway.
Okay.
So I didn't bother to proofread it. But you know what? I'm going to do that right now, and we'll hear live on the podcast. Having already sent in the report, if there does include an oblique reference to Pokemon that I did not intend. So it's just riveting. So they announced 2 games, mobile shit. Is there anything I should get from this as the most casual Pokemon fan that could exist? Should I care?
Yeah, it's designed for you. The most casual of casuals.
I mean, I don't want to sit down and play like a 20-hour adventure because I get bored by then.
For people who can't beat Cynthia, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee might be for you.
I'm more my speed.
It's hard to say because I know you like the Pokemon games to a certain extent. I mean, we've played through them with you before, but I don't know. I really don't know because I was going into whatever this announcement was eventually going to be because it's been rumored forever. We expected to hear something at least by E3, and now we finally got it out of the blue last night. But I was hoping for something that would rekindle my interest in Pokemon again. Not that I really lost it, but it's just like I wasn't in love with Sun and Moon as much as I wanted to be. Like, they're really good games and I enjoyed them, but like as soon as I was done, I just dropped it. Whereas most Pokemon games I would keep playing for like at least another 150 hours after that. So I wanted to have another Pokemon game to be excited about, especially because it was going to come out on the Switch, and I really love the Switch, and I think it has massive potential for a really amazing Pokemon game. But I'm just disappointed that I have to, I guess, put these feelings off for another year until we find out what the next real Pokemon game is going to be, because these Eevee and Pikachu games do not scratch that itch for me. Like, I love Pokemon. I love Red and Blue. The original 151 are fine. I'm not a Gen 1 or anything, but it's like I don't have that same reverence for just that so many people do. So these games don't really do anything for me. I feel like I'll probably buy it and play it and feel very little towards it, and then just stop at the end, assuming there is even any sort of post game in those games, because I kind of doubt it.
I mean, I currently have no plans to buy it myself. I'm probably one of the people who I show a lot of appreciation for Gen 1 pretty frequently. But no, what was that? Did he say I jerk off to Donald? That's what I heard.
Gollum.
You mean Golem?
Yeah, Gollum.
We already got off our Kingdom Hearts discussion. We weren't even recording when we were talking about that.
So the thing is, like, I mean, I think everyone here in this call, I don't know about Funk, but we were all pretty much into Pokemon when it originally came out, right? When Blue came out.
Yeah.
So I had Red.
We all have some love and fondness for those times, but I know in my case, like, that didn't stop once Gen 2 came. It only got, like, bigger, and there were ebbs and flows. Like, I really, I wasn't a huge fan of Gen 3, but I loved Gen 4. Gen 5 was okay, and I love Gen 6. Like, it goes in patterns, but like I never stopped being a Pokemon fan like a lot of people did. So
I'm a love Gen 5, don't love Gen 6 guy myself.
Yeah, I stopped being a Pokemon fan when I snapped my DS in half.
The guy could not beat Cynthia.
Why
couldn't he do it?
I had other things going on. The hormones were everywhere.
Imagine not being able to beat Cynthia.
For whatever reason,
Garchomp, man.
For whatever reason, after Gen 3, I kind of fell out of love of Pokemon for Gen 4, but then I hopped back in for Gen 5. I don't know what happened there.
I blew off college exams for Gen 4.
Oh my
Like,
God.
that's how much I enjoyed those games.
Yeah, I just think they're just diluting the brand of Gen 1. I think it's just no longer nostalgic for me since it's constantly in the culture and it's everywhere, and so it's not nostalgic. It's not special for me anymore. It used to be, like think when like the Fire Red Leaf Green came out, I was pretty nostalgic, back then, but that was like over 10 years at this point, like 15 years ago. And so this, like I said earlier, it's just this constant pandering to like the Bulbasaur and Pikachu and all those Gen 1 Pokemon. I'm just kind of sick of it. They're almost just like considered like the Pokemon at this point. Like the other ones don't ever really exist, it seems like.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a slap in the face because a lot of those are really good Pokemon.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stupid criticisms people level against them, you can also turn back and level against a lot of the Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Looking at screenshots of Eevee Go, Pikachu Go, Let's Go Pikachu, they look like those Final Fantasy games that come out every 4 years, where it's like Lightning and Cloud and Sid like playing a board game.
Oh, it looks like... Okay, do you remember before, at that E3, before they announced Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Oh!
They showed off that World of Final Fantasy game, the
Final
chibi
Fantasy,
game.
Final Fantasy World?
Yeah,
God.
It kind of looks like that.
Yeah. That's the point I was making.
That game was probably better than Final Fantasy 15.
And it actually came out unlike Final Fantasy VII Remake.
What will come out first? Shenmue 3 or Final Fantasy 7 Remake?
Shenmue 3.
Shenmue 3. They're actually showing like development of it. We haven't seen anything about Final Fantasy 7 yet.
We did, but then they scrapped it and started all over, so...
Right. 2021, baby. Can't wait.
It's gonna be a good year.
Can't wait till I'm 30 to play fucking Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Oh, God.
Pepe Clock.
Well, so what comes out first? Final Fantasy VII Remake or Pokemon Gen 4 Remake?
Which one? Was that Diamond Pearl?
Yeah.
Gen 4 Remake, I think.
You're still a believer that those games are happening.
I think the remakes always make big money, and they're probably not as hard to make as a completely new game. So yeah,
I'm gonna throw down the gauntlet here. If Gen 4 Remake comes out, I will buy it and I will beat Cynthia.
Oh my god, she's probably gonna be a lot easier this time, Funk.
Then I can actually do it, so that's great.
Oh my god.
You're gonna be like up your ass with Mega Stones.
I don't know what those are.
There's nothing wrong with Mega Stones.
Lots of things are wrong with Mega Stones.
No. My biggest disappointment with Sun and Moon was just like the completely like shoving aside of Mega Evolution.
That's why I liked it.
I vastly prefer regional variants to Mega Evolution in terms of
I agree.
bringing old Pokemon.
No!
But the thing is, like...
What if you had like Mega Alola Garchomp?
Dude, my dick would grow so hard.
What are your feelings on
End it
Z
there.
moves, Collin?
Well, on what?
Z moves.
Oh, Z moves. I never used them myself. They they don't really do anything for me. They're just big cutscene moves.
Yeah. I used them for like gym leaders and stuff.
Like
Well,
just little I win buttons.
Yeah.
I know that competitively they have some use. They're actually not as big a game changers as a lot of people thought they'd be.
I mean, you can only use it once, and you have to sacrifice an item, and items are very important.
So they're pretty bland additions for me. They don't really do anything for me. Z moves, take them or leave them. They're nothing to me.
Well, it's like it did feel even more so than Mega Evolution that they wanted to come up with a new gameplay concept, and like that was the only thing they can come up with, which makes me wonder, what is the gimmick going to be of Gen 8? Like I don't know. I don't know where they go from this point.
Fusion.
Oh no.
You know what? But yeah, they have done that, and I suppose they could revisit it in a bigger way. But yeah, I don't know. Like my initial first thought when these Eevee Pikachu games were rumored was that like this was what they were going to do to alleviate the problem of having too many Pokemon. Like if you just do remakes, you don't necessarily need to introduce like 100 new Pokemon. And I do think they're self-conscious about how many Pokemon there are now.
Mm-hmm.
But like that is also a big part of new Pokemon games for me. Are the new Pokemon?
They're the best part, in my opinion.
All right. Well, maybe they could slow the production down.
See, but that's also disappointing when you only have like 50 new Pokemon.
No. I mean, they could slow the production down of Pokemon games because we've been getting them almost yearly. We get a gap year maybe every 4 years.
You're right, but also like that is also what Pokemon has become. Like as a competitive game, you need to keep that game updated, and that's kind of how they do it. You know, it's almost like a sports game in a way, where they have like, you know, the yearly version of a sports game. They want to keep the games fresh, I guess, for the competitive scene. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Interesting questions. I would like to see. I don't know how many years in the future it's going to be, but them just to do some kind of complete overhaul of what Pokemon is. Like if Gen 8 comes out, and I expect Gen 8 to be more of the same, which is fine because I love Pokemon. I like that formula. You can keep doing that, and I would be fine with it. But at some point, I would like to see. I mean, I hate to say like a Breath of the Wild style shift in the franchise, but you know they showed that it's possible with Zelda. You could take something that a formula that people loved and was well known and completely shake it up into something that was even better. So if
not that we're saying that you leave the turn-based stuff behind.
Yes, I mean, yeah,
we're not saying that.
I don't want like manually controlling the Pokemon and having them fight. Like,
no, nothing
that would
like
be so
that.
lame.
What if they integrated Pokken gameplay? Into
get out of here.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that, because it's funny that you mention the competitive emphasis, because they take that very seriously in terms of the development. I remember there was a comment made. I think maybe it was Masuda who said it, that they want people that they're now sort of designing the main campaigns to be really easy so that people can just get through them as fast as possible, and then so they can get to the real meat of the game, which is the multiplayer. And that's never really how I viewed Pokemon games.
It's used to be how I viewed them.
Yeah,
but then like but see, I hit that. I don't know if it happened to anyone else, but like when I would go online, like I would seriously train Pokemon competitively to fight people online with them, and then I would hit the part of that aspect of Pokemon I really didn't like, which is the metagame, where you would just go on and see the same handful of Pokemon in the same teams, because people would go online, look up the ideal teams and movesets, and they would all just be mirror teams. And that's not really what I like about Pokemon. I guess I like Pokemon more in theory, like all the number stuff, you know, IV and EV training and stuff. I do EV training and stuff, but you know, I don't like that mechanical aspect of Pokemon. I just like the idea of raising Pokemon and just what I used to do with my friends when we didn't know any better. Like we would just raise our favorite Pokemon and then battle each other. Like that was what drew me to Pokemon and made me enjoy it to begin with.
Yeah,
so
that's not to say I don't enjoy the multiplayer part of Pokemon. I do. It's just that's not really what it was about for me, and that's why, despite everything, I did enjoy Sun and Moon, despite Sun and Moon being rushed to shit. I actually really enjoyed Sun and Moon because they really did want to make a more compelling, coherent adventure out of the main campaign for it.
They did try, and I do appreciate that. I also do think the competitive aspect does hold the series back a bit, because if you think about it, like it has the same base mechanics of like the same system of how the game works since Gen 3. And they can't change that, because then people would lose their Pokemon that they spent countless hours training. So they have to essentially keep the games working the same way. So if you were going to completely change everything, they would have to start from scratch again, and I don't think they want to do that.
No. Anyway, fuck Pokemon.
I mean, it sounds like I'm really down on it, and I guess I kind of am, but I still really love Pokemon and would want it to be what I guess how I felt about it before. I don't know if that's possible, but I mean, these new games this year are not going to do that for sure. Like I'm not excited for them.
Can we get a Pepe clock again?
Yeah, it feels really appropriate, doesn't it?
I mean, you want to say like, hey, you're out of maybe we're out of the demographic now, but the demographic is insanely huge. It spans so many like an insane range of ages.
It's not like they've ever removed the depth that these games have from it.
Yeah.
So they're still compelling in that sense. But I don't know. It's just maybe we're in a different place in life, and that doesn't make as much sense as it used to.
Are you breaking up with Pokemon right now? That's what it sounds like. That's what this fucking sounds like.
I mean, the Pokemon company and what's the Pokemon Go developer?
Niantic.
Yeah, they made a shitload of money off of Pokemon Go, and Nintendo, the company itself, Nintendo, didn't really see a lot of that money. So I think obviously the strategy is what they're going for is to make just another Pokemon Go like game for their Switch so they can get in on this action, because I think definitely Pokemon Go is a lot more successful than Sun and Moon, right? In terms of just popularity and downloads. Yeah. So.
In terms of people who've played it, definitely.
Yeah. So.
The revenue that they've gotten.
But
from
that
it.
you're also never going to beat mobile phones in that respect. Like.
Right.
People just have phones. There's a much bigger market there theoretically, and they tapped into that, which is good for them. They could release pretty much any Pokemon game on mobile, and it would probably get tens of millions of downloads easy. Even this Pokemon Quest game is going to be coming out on mobile in June. I assume it'll do the same thing.
Oh, I don't know. I just think if this Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, or the fuck, Let's Go Gorchu does really well, and then this new quote unquote core game comes out and doesn't do as well as Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I think it's adios for Pokemon as we know it.
But I was talking about this with Collin earlier, is that I think you could make any main Pokemon game and it'll sell 10 million plus copies easily. Like, I don't think you have to do much, and to be honest, Game Freak in a lot of respects doesn't do much, like much more than they have to, anyways. To make these games, so it's still going to be a success. I think if these quote unquote spin-off games are a bigger success, then you may see them put more focus onto them as an ongoing sub-series. But because they still have and still value that competitive aspect of Pokemon, you will always need those kinds of games to force that. So unless they wanted to ditch that entirely, I don't know. But the thing is, like, because the series still sells crazy even after 20 years, like there's no reason why they can't just run multiple series and have them all sell incredibly well, which is I expect what they'll do now. They're just finding more ways to expand it.
Yeah, it's true. The multiple Pokemon timelines.
Which, I mean, is fine as long as they don't bleed into each other. If they want to make two separate things, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, there's going to be, like, crossovers. And there's going to be, like, specials, and where the Let's Go Pikachu teams up with Detective Pikachu, and then they meet the Pikachu. I guarantee it.
So the real question is, does Ash go back to Kanto in the anime starting this fall?
Oh my god.
Again.
You mean the Ashime?
Oh my god.
Don't ever use that term in my presence.
Steve, don't you mean Satoshi?
No, I don't.
I said that earlier.
Did you?
We're saying it again.
Like hours ago.
Okay.
Pokemon is one of the few things I will insist on using the dub names. Like, I've watched the Japanese version of Sun and Moon, and it still triggers me that they don't sub the Pokemon's names into their English names. Because I don't know what the fuck their Japanese names are, because a lot of them aren't very simple.
You don't know what a Pikachu is?
I know what a Pikachu is. I know what a Togedemaru is. I don't know what the fuck is Squirtle's Japanese name?
Zenigami?
God damn it, how do you know that?
What the fuck says Zenika?
I don't know.
Wasn't that the thing from Death Note?
Oh my god.
Some of them are really dumb. Like, isn't Jolteon and Zapdos just Thunder and Thunders?
Yes.
Thunders.
Thunder.
Very
Thunder.
creative naming.
Pretty sure Umbreon is just Blackie.
Yes, it is.
God.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Umbreon's name in Japanese is just Blackie.
I need to find this.
Hey, look at these Blackies.
You let Jontron in here.
Oh no.
Oh my god. That's great.
Alright, does anyone have any final thoughts on Pokemon?
Fuck Pokemon.
Yeah, my
Yeah, pretty
thoughts
much.
are my thoughts are contained in this picture of a Japanese child with a 3DS saying "fuck that."
Right.
Alright, does anyone else have any news they want to bring to the table? Do you want to talk about Fallout Soldier 76, Matt?
I don't know how much anybody here has any interest in some of the Bethesda news that has come out.
I haven't played a Bethesda game in a long time. I'm pretty rusty.
Are
on
you
Fallout.
going to buy Rage 2, Matt?
No. Hell no. I mean, I guess I could mention that. So, Bethesda earlier this month announced Rage 2 initially with a horrible trailer. That's legitimately snap tier. And then after that, they released a much better trailer that had some glimpses of gameplay in it, which actually didn't look half bad. It just looked like first person Mad Max, which is fine. But the problem is that it's Rage, and who the fuck still cares about Rage? That's the most completely out of nowhere IP to even think about continuing.
It seems they completely changed the tone of it, so it might as well be something else, right?
Yeah, it feels kind of like what they did with Prey, where they name this new thing as if it's part of the franchise, but they just completely it doesn't even feel like the same thing. What's even the point? Calling it Rage 2, in all honesty, just makes people less interested. Because nobody remembers Rage. Nobody liked Rage. Rage was a very infamous game when it came out. That was the game that introduced this IdTech 5 or something. I forget what it was, but it was terrible at the time because the way it was done, it didn't run correctly. You would the frame rate would go down to horrible slow single digits. It would take several seconds for textures to load in. It was awful on PC. Don't even get me started on fucking console. And then the game itself was known for just being kind of a really bland generic shooter, and then with the most obvious we forgot to finish this game ending ever. Where you basically what happens in the end is that you're just kind of fighting through a horde of enemies. You get to a button, you press the button, and then that's just the end of the game. No boss fight or anything. It's just so weird. I played the first couple hours of the original Rage. All I remember is riding a very glitchy motorcycle, going through bland environments, and fighting the first boss, which involved hiding behind a roadblock while this guy in a car, like in a turret, just kind of shoots at you, and you just kind of have to poke your head behind the roadblock and back up and behind it, and it's like the most boring thing ever. And Rage 2 just looks, I don't know, like I just don't get why they're doing this.
Because they can, I guess.
I guess because they can. Like maybe, like I've heard stuff like the original creator of Rage like wants to give it another chance, and it just took this long to finally convince higher ups to like let him do it because of how much of a fucking disaster Rage 1 was. Which, you know, I guess that's understandable. This still just looks weird with the advertising campaign that they're doing. Fucking, like, who still remembers Andrew WK?
Wait, that's what they're advertising this with?
That was who was in the trailer for the game.
I haven't seen the trailer. Jesus.
They're using an Andrew WK song.
Ooh.
Lay ironic, happy sounding music about killing people song. Like,
how embarrassing.
And people like people also like to point out that apparently Andrew WK is like a brony or something.
I didn't need to know that.
Like everything about this game feels like something plucked from like 2013. It just seems so strange. And then, of course, today, after a 24-hour live stream, Bethesda's like, oh, new Fallout game, but it's not really? Like, nothing about the trailer seems to have implied this, but apparently it's going to be like an online...
Battle Royale.
No, not a Battle Royale.
Is it like a survival game?
Like a survival game, kind of like Rust, kind of like DayZ, only more focused on, like, basically it sounds like if these rumors that these journalists and people are talking about are true, they're basically doubling down on the base building aspect of Fallout 4, you know, the part of Fallout 4 that nobody liked, and making that into its kind of own game spin-off.
Yeah, like supposedly this was originally like a multiplayer component to Fallout 4, and
right?
Then they just spun it off into its own thing,
right? Which I guess is fine if you're gonna do that. And if they just completely focus on that, like from what I've heard, it sounds kind of interesting because apparently there's still quests, there's still Fallout stuff in the game, but it's more focused on this survival aspect. And apparently there's stuff like permadeath where if you get killed, you lose, like you respawn with all your quests, like all your quest progress and all your like leveling and stuff is still intact, but you lose all your weapons and stuff. So I guess it kind of has a little bit of Battle Royale-ish things going on there. Or I guess that kind of goes more in line with like, almost like a roguelite stuff. I don't know.
Let me tell you, whenever I just randomly look at Switch releases on the eShop and just read descriptions, nothing turns me off faster to the game than the word roguelike somewhere in the description. Same with
me.
There are
like,
too fucking many of them.
I can't tell you how many times I'll read about a new game, and it's like, oh, this sounds kind of interesting, and then I'll go on the Steam store, and then I see the tag roguelike, and I'm just like, nope, fuck that.
Worse are the people who say roguelike like or roguelike light.
Oh my god. Like, there's a legitimate, like, difference there. Like, everybody just kind of says roguelike now, but roguelike is I guess more in line with the actual original Rogue game, in that I think it's like supposed to be a lot more difficult, or like a lot less I don't know. I forget exactly what the difference is, but like
I think to me, as soon as you create a game where a large portion of it is randomly generated, you kind of lose me because I like playing through something that has been created for me. Like this is what they specifically designed, rather than just creating these tools to like have it design itself.
Right, which is why I never liked roguelikes at all. Like I've tried Binding of Isaac. I've tried fucking Spelunky. All that shit. It's all just really boring to me. I never got what the big deal was with all that.
Tell us the story, Funk.
There's not much of a story. Jehovah's Witnesses exist in Japan, and they're just as annoying.
Do they speak Japanese?
What?
Do they speak Japanese?
Yeah, they're Japanese people.
Oh, okay.
And they're just as insistent on getting you to read their material. So, but the thing is, like, when you look at your telecom to see who's at your door, it's just this, cute old Japanese lady. So you're like, yeah, I'll see what you have to say. Nope, Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's goddamn Witness.
I had one approach me at the movie theater when I went to go see Solo.
Oh no!
It's because you were by yourself. In that moment, you were Steve Solon.
Oh my god!
Get the gun.
I have never actually seen a Jehovah's Witness in my life.
They look like regular people if you weren't looking for it.
Well, I guess I should say I've never been approached by one.
The podcast still going?
Yeah.
Somehow.
You got anything else to say, Funk?
No.
Do you have any crazy dating stories?
No, I don't.
You're usually good for those.
That's the problem, is that I've been having good and fulfilling dates. So I don't have anything. I don't have any meme equity to share.
How fucking boring is that?
I know it is. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the most interesting thing to happen to me has been Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh my god.
Maybe we can come back from the brink together on the next episode when we review E3.
That is a good future segue.
But wait a minute.
Well done.
Wasn't there
Collin.
something else we had to discuss?
I don't know, Collin. What could that be?
Well, I mean,
Milo goes forth.
I don't know. Is anyone speculating? We talked about Microsoft. Are we speculating at all?
Go back to this.
Are we talking at all about Sony?
Do you want to talk about Sony?
I mean, I'm open to it.
All right, let's do a basic rundown. So it'll start off with like Uncharted related whatever. Then we'll get like 20 minutes of Days Gone gameplay. Then like a Spire of the Dragon Reignited trailer. Then some numbers about how many consoles they're selling. Some VR peripheral, and we'll wrap it up with some new IP that is completely. Oh wait, no, there'll be some Spider-Man gameplay. And then we'll wrap it up with some new IP that no one gives a fuck about.
No, Funk, you forgot about The Last of Us Part 2.
So here's the thing about Sony's conference this year is they're apparently doing something different.
Okay.
Where their conference is just going to largely focus on 4 games.
Oh god.
And I assume there will be other announcements in there. But like they primarily said, we're just going to show a lot of these 4 games.
So wait, it's Days Gone, Death Stranding, Last of Us Part 2?
They're not going to focus on Days Gone.
Okay, so Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, and then something else.
Yes, and that Japanese ghost of Tsukushima or whatever it's called.
Oh, okay, that one looked kind of neat from those little clips we saw.
I'm interested to see what that's about.
That's already infinitely more interesting than Days Gone.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad we're not getting Days Gone again. Holy shit!
Could you sit through 20 minutes of Days Gone?
Oh my god!
They put out a bunch of previews for that already this month to I think get that out of the way, and the word on it is it's still not very good. So, shocker.
Well, if are they in fact showing Death Stranding?
Yes, they're going to show a lot of Death Stranding.
All right, I am
We will actually get to see what that
for
game is.
Now it's
Yeah.
time to be excited.
It's time to reveal it for the match 3 puzzler it has always been.
Wouldn't
Yes.
that be the best?
No.
Do you think they'll show Bloodborne Kart?
I'm still pulling for Bloodborne Kart. I would buy that. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Oh my god.
They need to come out with one of those games, one of those Souls games that has like a user creative element to it, so that you can make your own Bloodborne cart.
Little Big Souls?
Speaking of which, so we're not going to be seeing Shadows Die Twice in this.
We might see something of it.
Okay. Because I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm actually really hoping that it's not going to be a Souls-like. I want to see some of the other stuff they can do.
Okay.
I would be shocked if it wasn't Bloodborne 2.
I'm totally down for Bloodborne 2. I love Bloodborne. It's one of my favorite games, but I do want to see they've been doing the Soul stuff for so long now.
Right. They have to be tired of it, too.
Yeah.
It makes them the money.
It does make them the money.
The thing is, you have other people making Souls games now, and I don't mean like them outsourcing remakes of Souls games. I mean people making stuff that has such a clear inspiration from them that the market just doesn't need more from Souls games. It didn't need it when they made Dark Souls 3, but that game still came
When are
out.
they going to make Metal Wolf Chaos 2?
After Ace Combat 4.
They don't make Ace Combat.
Damn it.
Do you know what Metal Wolf Chaos is?
No, wait, is that the one where you play as the president, but it's like an anime girl?
No, but you do play as the president in a mech. It's
And-
that it was an Xbox exclusive that was fully English voice acted and only came out in Japan.
Yeah, you have to fight the vice president.
It had like amazing voice acting.
And From made it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I believe so. Yeah. They also made like what was that other mech game? Armored Core.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
Armored.
thinking of instead of whatever I said.
Ace Combat.
Right, they both begin with A. So they're clearly the same. Armored Core.
We got any DMC fans in here? Any
Nope.
DMC fans? Oh, well, maybe DMC 5, huh?
Maybe you could talk to Mule about that.
DMC
wow.
is never
Wow.
going to happen, Colin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Give me a cliff. I'm going to go jump.
Maybe we'll get
Bayonetta's
the
your new
wonderful
DMC.
201.
Oh, man, that'd be so great, but it's not happening.
Well, I mean, there was that image that Kamiya posted of the Wonderful 101s on Twitter.
He
Maybe-
also went on a retweeting spree of people tweeting about Wonderful 101, so
I think he just wants to get the game ported first to see if it can sell.
most likely.
Yeah,
I'd be down for a port.
I'd get the port.
I would too.
I feel like a goober for saying it, but I'd get the port.
I would totally get the port.
I mean, we didn't even talk about Wonder Red and whether he was going to get in Smash, so.
No.
Probably
No.
not, but
Hey, you think they're going to do another character vote?
yeah,
They
they
should.
probably will. Yeah.
That was fun. Goku could win it again, they just won't ever tell us.
I mean, but if they had Wonder Red and Smash Brothers, I'd be over the moon. He'll probably be an assist trophy, though. I hope at least I get that much.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see Wonderful 101 getting a stage.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe.
Where was I? Yeah. Anyway,
California.
I'm hoping Spider-Man looks exciting to play this time because every time I see Spider-Man, I get really underwhelmed by it.
Because they have to show off the QTE stuff because it does well for trailers.
Yes, I would.
I assume they're going to show a lot of gameplay at that.
Well, first and foremost,
Doesn't it
I'd like.
have Skywebs.
No, it doesn't.
Skywebs?
No, it does not. It does not have. It does not have any moon swinging this time. I guess.
Moon swinging. That's what they call it.
I mean, that's what the entire game's right on, whether they get the web slinging right.
Yes, that's what I said basically last year. Is that they half the game could be mediocre, but if they get the web swinging right, it'll probably be worth it.
web swinging. That's good, and Bruce Campbell doing the hints.
I believe they already said Bruce Campbell will not be in the game.
No, Yuri Lowenthal is voicing Spider-Man, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Why couldn't they get the guy like from the movies? Miles Davis, what's his name?
Miles
What?
Morales?
How did you just name a Spider-Man character by accident?
Huh?
Who's Miles Davis?
I know, right?
What?
Who is Miles Davis, Funk?
Old jazz musician.
It's not wrong. And that's a good thing.
Matt's looking him up.
Am I? No.
Was Miles Davis Calendar Man?
Oh my god, I have to reread that book.
No, that's Julian Gregory.
Well, was he Mysterio?
Get it? His name's Julian Gregory. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
No, Mysterio is the villain in the next Spider-Man film.
Oh, stupid
Is
fish
he
bowl.
still gonna have a big bubble head?
He better. Like, that is that whole character.
Doesn't he have like a ray gun? Like a Rey Mysterio gun?
Oh boy.
That's a wrestler. Like, the entire aspect of Mysterio's character is just Spider-Man making fun of his fishbowl. Like, that's it.
I guess Spider-Man is the snarkiest of the superheroes.
And that's a good thing.
What Spider-Man could learn from Deadpool?
Anyway,
Oh.
what I'm getting at here is that I'm hoping that we get like an actual well-edited trailer rather than just an extended sequence of like some cinematic sequence in the game.
I'm personally hoping they just play Paul Giamatti's Rhino scene in its entirety.
Is that it, Funk?
That's
Is
all
it?
I'm hoping for, yeah.
Yeah, is that all the Spider-Man you know?
No, I know more.
That's
so,
all of Funk's Spider-Man.
I know there's
Ooh.
the Vulture and Sandman, and I'll
Uh-huh.
follow you to the ends of the earth. You see, I played the Spider-Man 2 game, and that had a number of villains in it.
Every Spider-Man game should have the Shocker in it. Like, that should be the first thing you put in.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
right?
you think
Yeah.
Shockers...
What about Kingpin? He's on the lower end of fantastical. Like if fantasticalness was a gradient in Spider-Man, you'd have Kingpin on the low end, and you'd have the Shocker on the high end with his weird brown fish.
Kingpin is actually in the Spider-Man game.
Is he a big guy?
He is a big guy.
No, that was his superpower, right? He was just really big.
His superpower is that he's 99% muscle.
Yeah.
1%.
So in his organization, he's both the Don and the muscle.
Yes.
Wow, that efficiency is likely why he's ascended to the top of New York's crime world.
Yes. I don't think Vincent D'Onofrio, is that how I say his name?
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. I don't think he's 99% muscle though.
No, but like his body type, the Kingpin's body type is impossible, and
Yes.
he came close enough.
Is Jameson gonna be in the game?
He better be.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Is he gonna be played by J.K. Simmons?
He should.
They could get him. He'd do it.
They could.
That's one of those times where like casting has completely redefined a character. I think because you can't. I can't picture Jameson as not being J.K. Simmons. More so the voice, because the look was pretty spot on, but the voice is really what nailed it.
Yeah, like before that, like Ed Asner in the 90s cartoon did a really good voice, but it's just been completely written over. I think that's just why they've never put him in any of the other movies. Is they don't want to go back to J.K. Simmons, but you can't replace him either.
Well, why don't they want to go back to J.K. Simmons?
I just think it would be too weird.
Is it because he costs Whiplash money now?
They could probably afford him. Marvel
What,
can
Sony?
afford anything.
Isn't Spider-Man a Sony production?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Sony would pay for it.
We're gonna get Sony to pay for it. So if J.K. Simmons shows up during the Sony conference, I will pencil them in as winning E3. In fact, one of the 4 games that they're detailing is just a 20-minute interview with J.K. Simmons about his life and times.
Is it going to be more or less exciting than that 20-minute interview with Pele at that EA conference?
So it was actually an hour, but it was so entertaining that it flew by.
So is there any way that The Last of Us can surprise us?
No.
Oh my god.
What if they killed Joel in like the first 10 minutes?
Who
I
cares?
mean, that'd probably be upsetting more than surprising.
What if they killed Ellie in the first 10 minutes? That would be more surprising.
That'd be hot.
She's like the golden lesbian child of the franchise.
Oh my god.
You know what? You have Joel kill Ellie for petty revenge.
It's funny to think about. You know, Naughty Dog, they're very good at what they do. You know.
No.
Making mediocre games.
Yeah.
Well, when you compare them to other cinematic games, Naughty Dog has a lot more interactivity at play.
Yeah, they do.
Even if you just take a look at the new God of War, like if you compare that to Uncharted 4, Uncharted 4 has a lot more interactive sequences, like set pieces going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more you can do. But it's just funny that, you know, you keep hearing about how Sony's exclusives are starting to look kind of samey, right? And Last of Us kind of got the ball rolling on this sort of thing. Last of Us and BioShock Infinite, I guess. Like 5 years ago. And now Last of Us 2 is finally here, right? And I feel so fatigued seeing these games.
Yeah, I really don't.
And I've barely seen the Last of It. We've only seen a teaser of Last of Us 2.
Yeah, well, I don't. Last of Us just felt like something that should have been a one and done thing.
I mean, it was intended that way, but, you know, people demand more.
Yeah. Does anybody else find it extremely pretentious how they're calling it Part 2?
Yes. That was the first thing I thought of when they showed that trailer.
There's nothing wrong with...
I think I actually just said fuck you at my computer when I saw that logo.
What the hell, guys?
It's
Is this really the hill you want to die on?
It's too
Yes.
video gamey to call it The Last of Us 2.
That's the thing.
Like, they didn't call it The Godfather 2.
It feels like they're trying to make it sound more important.
This is the battle. This is really the battle we're gonna fight here.
Absolutely.
On
Yeah.
the word part.
Like,
It's not even that. It's that they use the Roman numerals as well.
oh my god.
At least they used them correctly on like Call of Duty.
Oh,
No,
man.
you know what? The absolute worst are the people who go, well, actually, in the Roman alphabet, you can do 4 lines representing the number 4. They did do that at one point. It's like, fuck off.
All right, so which is worse? The fact that they're actually making a Black Ops 4 or having a fucking robot armed like
World War II soldiers.
World War II soldiers
that are
with
women.
fucking modern day haircuts as cars fly out of the sky into the ground, exploding around them.
A battle royale-esque
See,
style.
I wouldn't mind that, except they went on about like authenticity, and then that happened, and then they just completely backpedaled, completely failing to admit how contradictory they were.
Oh my god!
If they had
And
just
I
said
like
we're
how
making
people-
a silly game,
And I like
mind.
how like people who defend it have to go like deep into Wikipedia and being like,
yeah,
no, see, there were robot arms in World War II. Look at this one that
like
I
this
found.
this weird German schematic existed. Clearly, all frontline infantry were using these.
There is this female sniper from Russia that where all the articles pointing towards her are clear propaganda from the Russians. See, there were female fighters in World War II.
Yeah. I can tell you that the people who do buy these products care about that authenticity. Like my friends who are like Battlefield fans, they definitely care about like things feeling authentic when they play it.
Mm.
Especially since they're gun fags and they have all the information on everything.
Do you ever say the word magazine around them?
I have not. No. Not in reference to guns.
Or just call random things clips? I don't actually know which is which. I just know it's touchy. So, but what you're saying is that the normal fags will not take kindly to these shenanigans.
They part of their culture is honor and shame. I happen to be an expert on normal fag culture. No, I don't know. You never know what they're gonna accept, right? It depends on how they market it.
I just saw that trailer and I remember like thinking it was so stupid looking. It almost looked like a comedy. Like it looked like a comedy scene when it like starts panning out and you just see like all this fucking chaos on screen.
I know that your typical person interested in a World War II shooter would probably prefer something more authentic to something that's inclusive.
Right. It just seems so weird.
Yeah, you gotta wonder how many of these people that are all for the diversity and inclusivity and whatnot are the same people who just turn their noses at every shooter release and just have no interest in buying a Battlefield game no matter what.
I mean, I have interest.
To be fair, I mean I don't either, but to be fair, that might be a good move on DICE's part, whoever's making these, to capture that audience. Because this is a market that is very it does not do well with that demographic, and this could bolster that.
I'm assuming the game will be a success no matter what.
Yeah,
it is Battlefield.
Yeah,
it's Battlefield.
I feel like no matter what people bitch about it regarding this, it's going to be a hit. Even COD, which got like disliked into oblivion when it did the futurist shit for the third time, still sold gangbusters.
I think it's been selling less and less though as time goes on.
Yeah,
it has. Yeah,
you're gonna get fatigued eventually, but you're still you're like several million.
I heard that at the preview events for Black Ops 4. Like, when they told people there would be no wall running, the crowd went wild.
That's kind of funny.
That's straight hilarious.
See, that's another thing is that the people that are consuming the product again, they like it, quote, and I'm putting up the air quotes, realistic.
My boots on the ground.
Yeah, they hate that gay sci-fi shit.
Even though fucking Titanfall 2 eats the lunch of any of the fucking
Oh my god, Titanfall 2 is so fucking good.
Eats the lunch?
Yes, it's the same.
Yeah, it's a phrase.
Yeah, it's a phrase.
I was being sarcastic. No, it's not.
It is a phrase.
Steve, give me your quick review of Titanfall 2.
Holy shit, that one fucking time travel level is amazing. That was legitimately like playing a Super Mario 3D World level in a first-person shooter. It was awesome. Collin was like, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just you just press L1 to time travel. That's the big deal. He didn't fucking tell me how amazing that whole level was.
Yeah, it's great.
So
it's so
I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised by it.
I also like the level later on where you I think it had to do with like maneuvering around these like giant fans or something.
In that level?
No, it's like you get a different kind of weird gun that like.
Oh yeah, the one that shuts down the fans and stuff.
Yeah. Like that one was kind of cool, especially at the end where you have to like use the boost from the fans to like.
Yeah. Like that felt like old school first person shooter level design.
Yeah, it felt like straight up fucking.
Where it was more focused on the level and less on like the enemies.
Yeah. Rip Titanfall, by the way.
I think they're probably going to make another one.
Didn't they said
Yeah, but
something
now,
about?
now they're fully owned by EA.
Yes, they're
So-
also making a Star Wars game. So
I thought they said something about like developers from Respawn, the people who made Titanfall, like moving back to Infinity Ward or something.
some of them, yeah, I think that was probably overblown.
Really?
Like, I think that's
Okay.
probably just something that's common in the industry.
I guess so.
But I mean, they're big. They're working on a Star Wars game, and they're probably working on Titanfall 3.
I mean, I'd be all for more Titanfall as long as they don't release it at the same time as Battlefield.
No, I don't think they're gonna make that mistake again. Release it in between Battlefield and Call of Duty. That was so fucking dumb.
Oh my god. Why?
Before we wrap this up, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about Team Sonic Racing.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
What
We're
is
the
there to say?
We're the Sonic Board podcast, huh?
Here we are.
Who knew?
How about those cars?
How about those
Um,
26 seconds?
How about completely
have-
stripping the game of everything that made All Stars Racing transformed great?
What, Danica Patrick?
Oh,
Shut
no.
up.
Didn't she
So-
get into a crash? Didn't she die?
Yes, she did. I was talking to Kenny about this. She didn't die, but
Oh
she
yeah,
crashed.
we were.
She crashed in her last Indy 500.
How
Was it?
embarrassing. Or is that why it was her last Indy 500?
No, she said beforehand.
Why exactly was the teaser trailer for this not the one that we saw back in March?
Right?
Because those people running the Sonic marketing social media campaign, whatever, are a bunch of faggots, and they don't know how to do their job.
Well, it's because like a year ago when they revealed Mania and Forces, we got a significant Forces teaser that showed us what that game was. Relatively.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they made good last year, and this year they just decided to tease a racing game before the actual teaser. It reminds me of all those stupid, like, movie trailer teasers where they give, like, 10 seconds of a trailer the day before the trailer comes out.
Yeah.
God.
It's like, why the fuck even bother?
Well, except we had to wait 2 months.
Yes, that was the worst part about it. I mean, I'm fine. Well, although, like, between this and the rumored, which we didn't even talk about, the Star Fox racing game from Retro Studios. I like racing games, but that may be a lot of racing for me. Do we want to talk about that? I mean, I
Oh,
don't
is that
know.
a possibility?
Well, I
That-
mean,
that is the rumor. That
Is
is a
that
heavy
still on the
rumor.
table?
No,
wasn't
it
that-
sounds like that is happening.
wasn't that leaked by the same person who leaked the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Eevee thing?
Oh my god.
Maybe. I believe so.
So I
but
think-
then
I
it
think
came
that
out
makes
that
it-
like
That makes it all the more authentic.
Eurogamer or something came out and reported like their sources had heard the same thing.
Yeah.
That is what Retro is working on.
Well, look, Steve doesn't want to play Redout with me on PlayStation 4. So, if this will get Steve to race with me, then I'll get it.
There was also the rumor that Retro was working on a different game besides this that got canceled.
Uh-huh.
So that has been I have been wondering about that, like whether that there's a problem in that studio or not, because it's been 4 years
Uh-huh.
since Tropical Freeze came out.
Mhm.
It's like, and they're a great studio, so they shouldn't have been taking this long. So
Yeah.
I wonder if just something is going on and they just ended up with this game. Supposedly, like, this is the direction that Star Fox, the franchise, is going to go in now. Because they don't know what else to do, I guess.
I mean,
But and apparently it's more marketable than F-Zero, so
Oh, God, that makes me so mad. Although, you know,
so Star
there have
Fox
also
is
been
literally
rumors-
just going to be F-Zero now.
There has also been rumors that there's going to be an F-Zero game, although I don't believe them because Nintendo hates me and F-Zero, so that franchise is dead, unfortunately.
man.
Pour one out for F-Zero. But yeah, like, as soon as I heard this, I was like, I don't really care because Star Fox Zero was so bad. Like that was their chance to finally do something meaningful with Star Fox, and they fucking dropped the ball hard.
Yep.
So, if they come out with a racing game, it's like maybe I'll play it, but it's like I don't really care about Star Fox anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they should have done?
What's that?
All right, they should have tried their hand at the ground missions again.
Oh,
except make them vanquish.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess that would be a bad idea.
Where's my Captain Falcon character action game?
Stop.
I just want to see, like, how cool would it be to have a Captain Falcon adventure game where, like, you play as Captain Falcon. You like kind of can, like, there's kind of a limited like world thing, like a world building thing where you can like talk to random NPCs. You get like stuff for your car. Since like Captain Falcon's like a bounty hunter or something, right?
Yes.
Like you can the character action element is like you like look for bounties to get. You beat people up, get money, use it to upgrade your car. And then like you can go full all out crazy by like having like a final boss fight like on cars or something. I don't know. Like Captain Falcon versus what's that guy? Black Devil? Black Shadow. They're just on their cars. No reason at all.
Falcon?
What about Blood Falcon?
Okay.
Develop my
What
Platinum
about
games.
Samurai Goro?
I'm not sure I'd feel that myself. I'd rather they at least try to bring back F-Zero normally first.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously. I think.
I'm dying.
Yeah, I don't know what they would do. Like to
Apparently turn it into Star Fox.
I guess so. I mean,
Yeah.
GX did have Star Fox references in it.
I mean, X did too. Like,
Steve, you want to play Red Out?
I don't know.
Collin, you want to play Fortnite?
Not particularly, but I'll play it, I guess.
I don't want to play Fortnite.
Live on the podcast.
Oh God.
Live Fortnite.
Well,
Ooh.
I think we'll wrap it up and we'll be back in a fortnight for E3. What do you say, guys?
Oh
my God, we'll actually
Whoa.
be back in a fortnight. That's actually completely true.
Holy shit.
That's Steve.
Uh-huh.
Steve,
Mhm.
I can feel your smile. The other end, you piece of shit.
I did it. I became funk.
What?
All
Huh?
right.
I
That's
did
it.
the
Well-
good, I did the good segue.
Oh,
I am
say goodnight, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, that's my line.
Good night.
Say goodnight, everyone.
No, no one say goodnight.
Good night.
Video game.